Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right there.
I don't think I've ever said this before.
By the way, pretty busy weekend. Lots going on. Lots of fights, lots of arguments. Primaries being done tomorrow. Louisiana, Cassidy losing, coming out. Trump calling him out. The person that won against him as a two-term senator. Massie's got it tomorrow. Nasty, not looking good. Long Island, the railroad strike shutdown. Hochul blaming Trump. Trump going back and forth. Rob, what's the number? 300,000 people?
That's what they're saying. 300,000 commuters in New York affected today.
300,000 commuters in New York affected by, again, a lot of stuff to go on. Bober jumps in there supporting Massie. She says, I'm for Massie and Trump. So it's kind of like, I know you've done extensive study on the Massie story, so we'll come to you. And then there was a fight. There was this UFC fight that everybody waited. And it was kind of like, when you're like, you'll see what I'm going to do to you tonight type of thing. You're talking dirty. And then the fight lasted 17 seconds. It was disappointing.
Anticlimactic.
It was like, 17 seconds. You thought it was going to be a bigger fight, but then Ronda came out and took that. And but I thought all the other fights were great. The fights we watched was great. Even the bigger thing right now that's going on, as a capitalist, that I'm excited about is competition.
100%.
Yeah. Because we've never had leagues competing. Like MLB does not have competition.
Nope.
NFL, they try to do this AFL, all this other stuff. They don't have competition. XFL, they don't have. NBA doesn't have competition. NHL doesn't have competition. Can you imagine if Jake Paul is able to pull it off for UFC to have competition?
Wow.
Can you imagine when they were going in the middle of the fight and Ngannou was walking out, they announced the next fight for UFC with McGregor against Holloway Part 2.
Crazy.
And they asked Ngannou, they're like, what do you think about the fight? He says, what? You want me to walk back out? You want me to go back up? And what do you mean? And Jake Paul had some thoughts to say about, I like this. I like this competition because there's a thing that they're trying to figure out right now, the lawyer, the Armenian guy, can we get John Jones to fight Ngannou in their card, not UFC? Oh, my God. That would be massive. And then you got United Kingdom rally in UK. Folks, if you see this number I'm going to show you on how many arrests happened in UK just due to online comments versus the rest. Have you seen this chart?
Nope.
Versus the rest of the world, you will be flabbergasted.
Online, just talking crap to people online.
People getting arrested for comments you make online in UK.
Okay.
And then Tommy Robinson comes out and they do another rally. I don't know how many people showed up, 100,000 plus. It was
crazy.
massive.
Good.
All over the place, almost to the point that some people are saying Tommy Robinson fired Keir Starmer because Keir's about to step down. And can you imagine if Tommy had a little bit to do with that? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I know Elon is
stepping down because he lost and he has to clean out his debt.
It's pretty nasty, Tom. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
So while this is going on, Iran hits a UAE power plant over the weekend. This is their sole power plant that they have. And Trump and Netanyahu have a 30-minute call together. And Trump comes out and says, hey, this is your last, threat you're going to get, your last chance. You better make this thing work or else. And some are speculating today there's a big meeting that they're going to have in the Situation Room. And there could potentially be an attack tomorrow in Iran. Tomorrow, as early as tomorrow, it could happen. By the way, quietly, you know who just had the biggest drone attack over the weekend that no one's even talking about? You know who?
UAE.
No, Zelensky to Russia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys follow this?
The cars are still driving over the bridge.
Quietly, he's like, yeah, we're going to do this because you're hitting us and we're hitting you.
Wow.
Because apparently Russia hit them and killed like 54 people, 55 people. And quietly, while all this stuff is going on, Russia and Ukraine, they're going to have their peace deal. Boom, Zelensky hits them. You conducted large-scale drone strikes on Russia, killing 4 and wounding 12 others. This happened over the weekend. Quietly, no one's even talking about it. And then quietly, there is a new way to transport oil that UAE is tied to, and Saudi did one as well. We can talk about this. Over the weekend, Trump had a lot of victories. One of them was the number 2 guy in ISIS was taken out on the way back from China. He tweets it and says the number 2 guy was trying to hide. We took him out, and then at the same time, he took out climate change over the weekend. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. So it was
Very big deal.
Al Gore had a rough weekend. What's that 14-year-old girl's name that's 30 now who was like crying all the time?
Thunberg.
She looks like she's 45.
She looks
pretty
rough.
bad.
Oh, my
But
God.
now she's on flotillas.
Is it Greta Thunberg.
Yes.
Thunberg.
Am I saying it
Who
correctly?
always had a crunched up face.
She always looked like she's
and now the
angry.
older she's got, the face won't uncrunch.
Are collapsing.
I wonder if Al Gore's face can do that, because sometimes Botox doesn't allow you to do that, according to some studies. Like when you do too much Botox, people don't know if you're happy, angry, or you're any of that stuff. So it's pretty bad.
The impact of Botox is an inconvenient truth.
Okay, Tom. So next is Hochul. Hochul made another thing where they're talking about these vacation homes, second homes in New York. He says there's only 8,000 of them. Yeah, there's only 8,000 of them. You know how many people have second? You know how many second homes there are in America? Second homes, 6.5 million. And she said it's only 8,000 in New York. It's not like it's a big deal. They lowered it from 5 million to 1 million. Massive situation. They're just kind of dry. It's almost like the way they want to lower the prices of houses in New York is by making it so unattractive to own a home, so valuation goes down. Just a double dumb communistic socialistic idea. That, Tom, we'll come to you on that. Mamdani apparently tried to have a meeting with Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin didn't want to have the meeting.
Good.
And then there was a couple other stories. Eric Schmidt gets up there. I believe he's a great operator. I think he's a great teacher, but he's given a commencement speech. And he says what AI is going to do. You thought the boo of that lady last week was bad? The boo he got is 10 times worse than the lady got last week. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Who was the guy?
Eric Schmidt. Okay. Guy you follow. He's a futures guy. Commodities guy.
Commodities.
Eric Schmidt used to run Google, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Tom.
he was the CEO.
Yeah, CEO of Google. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
And then Neymar, this is a story none of you guys are following. I'm following because World Cup's around the corner. Anybody follows Neymar? Rob, do you know who Neymar is?
The soccer player.
The soccer player, Neymar. Yeah, he's at Fox News now doing some commentary with Scott Jennings at CNN.
What?
No.
Neymar,
Hey, we're doing good. We should score the ball in the
well,
goal.
let me tell you what happened yesterday. A massive thing happened yesterday with Neymar that if you're not following, maybe we'll get into it, where he had to show the receipts. It's pretty bad. They're playing Santos, and this is his last chance to kind of show up. So Brazil chooses to take him as one of the players going into a World Cup. And the referees accidentally subbed it for his number. It wasn't him being subbed out. And then he even got a yellow card for it. It's a nasty situation what happened. Damn. World Cup, you want the best players to be there, especially a guy like Neymar, you want it to be there. And then Rogan and Theo Von. Rogan made some comments about Theo Von because I think Theo talked about that he's been on
SSRIs.
Since a breakup he had 20-plus years ago. Wow. And he's talking to Rogan about it. And getting off of it, how tough it would be. And then Rogan made some comments about how he's feeling with his health. And, of course, Rogan's lost friends on suicide, especially in the comedy world. And then Theo responds back. And then there's a bunch of commentary. Two of the biggest personalities in the podcasting section. Rogan, one of the most famous people in the world. So that commentary became big, and maybe we'll address that as well. And we got a few other stories, too, on top of that. While we're doing this, a couple things I do want to announce to everyone. Just so you know, I want to make sure we're repeating this over and over and over again to everybody. Two big things. One, those of you who did the survey, I think the $25 gift card that we sent you had a 30-day lifespan. If you haven't yet taken advantage of it, I'm going to send an email to you again right now. If you check your email, you did the survey. You got it. Thousands of people already took advantage of it. If you haven't, I don't want people to say, well, Pat promised this, he didn't do this. There's a lifespan for it. Go take advantage of it. I think it was emailed to you. It's in your mailbox right now. And there's a bunch of new things out there in the store to go take advantage of. Even though there's a couple of stuff that's coming out, there's a bunch of stuff out there for you to go get. So go to vtmerch.com. If you got your gift card activated from Shopify. Number two, next Monday, if you guys want to know about the Vault Conference with the new announcement we're making with 4 speakers, I intentionally chose this 4 speakers. I want you to text the word VAULT to 310-340-1132. Text the word VAULT to 310-340-1132. It'll be our biggest one ever. First time we're going to the West Coast, MGM Grand Arena. Rob, watch it. This is a lineup of some of the speakers we've announced over the years. Go ahead, Rob. Monday on the podcast, 25th, we'll be announcing the 4 speakers. But those who text the word VAULT to 310-340-1132 will hear about it before anybody else. People are already buying tickets. This weekend was massive with people buying tickets for the Vault Conference. I can't wait to see you guys at this year's Vault Conference. It'll be a special one for the history books. Having said that, let's get right into it. The first story I want to get into is Thomas Massie. Why is Thomas Massie such a big story? So Thomas Massie, his primary is tomorrow. And if you think about Thomas Massie from Kentucky, he was leading the way. He was way ahead. Nobody was even thinking about this guy having a chance of losing. Like, the thoughts were like, there is no way this guy's going to lose to this other guy that he's going up against. And I'll give you some numbers for you to be thinking about with Thomas Massie. Rob, I know you have a few clips on this one here. It was so massive that the president got involved. It was so massive that you had people, some are saying, well, he's not a Republican. He is a Republican. He is more like a libertarian. I don't know what positions he's got. I don't know where he's going to be at it. Trying to see, I had all these notes here in front of me. Where'd these notes disappear to? I don't know. Rob, this one's not on you. It's on me. Is there any other notes here, Vinny? Are you taking notes from me, Vinny? And you're not even, no, I have it. I found it. Here it is. Thomas Massie. Let's go back to the story. So, why do some people love him? Why do some people not love him? Let me give you a little bit of both sides. Big, beautiful bill that came out. What his voting record is. He was one of the 2 GOPs that voted no for it. He said, didn't cut enough, wanted $2 trillion plus more spending cuts, okay? Second time, the final passage was that the first time he didn't vote for it, no, again, fiscal conservatism, he called it fake, deficit reduction. Trump 2025 budget, he voted no for it. Budget increased spending, wanted real cuts. Epstein files, demanded public release. Iran war powers, airstrikes, opposed, demanded congressional vote. Ukraine-Israel aid, no, multiple times. He's a non-interventionalist. That's his position. Speaker Johnson, he ousting MTG's motion. He supported it. Continuing resolution, debt ceiling, no, routinely refuses to vote for any spending he deems wasteful. Then when you go to FAC, per FEC's analysis, 79%, this is a very interesting data, Vinny, for you to be thinking about. Massie's individual donor base, I didn't know this till this morning, by the way, 79% are from Democrat and liberal PACs. So let me say this one more time. Massie's individual donor base, 79% is from Dems and liberal PACs. So Dems and liberals want Massie. This is per FEC analysis. And Tom, is it fair to say that FEC is somewhat credible of a source that when you see numbers from them is as legit as it gets?
That is absolutely correct. They are the authority on those numbers. People get sued or even indicted on discoveries FEC makes.
So now that's that part when you're looking at it. On top of that, as you go into this, it gets a little bit deeper as well on where the lead was between Massie and this fellow he's running against, whose name is Gallrain, which, by the way, he's a Navy SEAL. Okay, I believe a 4-time. He's a award-winning Navy SEAL. He's done his part in the military. And Massie had a massive lead just last month. If you look at last month, where he was at, open watchdog party alignment, okay, 73% of the time Massie votes with the GOP. That's below GOP average, above Rhino threshold. Heritage Action Scorecard scored Massie at 71%. GOP average is 80 to 90% for them, okay? In 2024, Vinny, when he won, Massie, you know what his score was when he won? 75.9% landslide victory. Very different race than the one that's taking place today. In April, just last month, his lead was 47 to 38%. Apparently today, Rob, what you showed me, Gallrain is at 48.3 to Massie 43. And to another poll, May 11, May 12, Gallrain is 53 to Massie's 45. So he's up 8% plus minus today. Tom, how did Massie go from having such a big lead on Gallrain to all of a sudden Gallrain flipping and having an 8-point lead on him?
Massie lost all of his support, and with his support, you lose the secret money. Now, I don't mean secret illegal money. I'm not saying that. But I think people who know elections know what I'm talking about. You know, Vinny, we always talk about the PACs. That people putting $5, $10 on their candidate, those days are gone. You know, candidates like to say, I only take donations from the regular voter. I don't take donations. Well, guess what? All of the money the RNC, and when you see people like J.D. Vance and other people talking about Massie, he lost all that, Pat. All that money went to unseat him, and then he also ended up in very public fights. And there's something that J.D. Vance said. He said, voting against your party on every single issue is a problem. Not just 1 or 2 or 3, but every issue. And we couldn't count on your vote when we needed it. So in Washington, remember, there's brokering of votes. Hey, Pat, look, you're in Nebraska. You need my vote on farm. You give me the vote on the Colorado River. Will you do that? Yeah, I can do that. Okay. And then if you do that, then help me out with the lumber vote that's here in, Arkansas, Kentucky, where we are. Great. And so these deals get made, and they're not like backroom deals. It's just like how votes are brokered in Washington. Massie ended up as a man on an island with no friends.
Yeah, and by the way, this is the talk you were talking about from J.D. Vance, and this isn't recent. This is from 7 months ago, so it's not like we're talking about this happened this week. Rob, you want to play this clip?
I think the problem with Thomas, and I've told him this in private, and now I guess I'll say it in public, is it's one thing to disagree with the party on a particular issue. It's one thing to take, to have your independent stand on a number of questions. And by the way, some of the stuff where Thomas Massie has been independent against the Republican Party, I've agreed with him with. Thomas and I worked together during 2023, where I was trying to stop the limitless flow of American money to Ukraine, and Thomas was one of the people I was working closest with it. But that's one thing. Being independent, having your own opinions is one thing. Voting against the party on every single issue, you're eventually going to make too many enemies. And that is the problem that Thomas has had. It's not one issue. It's not 3 or 4 issues. It's that every time that we've needed Thomas for a vote, he has been completely unwilling to provide it. That is why the President of the United States...
And by the way, this is what's funny about Vance saying this. If Rubio says this, that's one thing. Vance is a non-interventionalist. Vance is, some would say, an isolationist. Vance is probably on the side of Massie. So if Rubio said it, they're going to say what? Well, that's a neocon saying that, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But when Vance says it, Vance is closer to Massie than Rubio is closer to Massie. Vinny, your thoughts here?
I agree. And from that list of his do's and don'ts, I mean, the two that stuck out that I could 100% get on board with, the Epstein files, where he's like, I want 100% disclosure. Obviously, that didn't happen. Still not going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And then the funding for foreign wars to anybody, Ukraine or anybody for that matter. I'm cool with that. But if 75%, you said, is donating, he's completely against the party, why are you a Republican? Why not go to the Democratic Party or become an independent?
According to FEC, 79% of Massie's individual donor base is Dems and liberal PACs.
Okay, so either they have you there because they know what you're going to do and they're funding you, or the other, be a Democrat. Then go be a Democrat.
So here's
or
the question for you. But here's the question, because he will say, well, his opponent got money from AIPAC.
Okay.
Okay, so you have a candidate that you got to vote for, conservative. One got money from AIPAC, and say, I don't know what can we pull up Gallrain, what percentage of his money he got from AIPAC? Gallrain, I think. What percent? Because the big story right now is, which hopefully we'll get into, is how Israel became the topic that broke the Republicans. There's a story that just came out over the weekend. So that is an issue that a lot of people will say, well, you know what, he's taking money from AIPAC. Great, no problem.
The other guy?
The other guy, so Triangle has benefited roughly 5.7 million, 12 million. According to Track, AIPAC's breakdown, one snapshot listed PAC donations about $62,000 is what he got, okay? So, but what percentage of Gallrain's money came from AIPAC is what I want to know, Rob. Can you find that part out? So then this is the question for you. You have two candidates. One's got money from AIPAC. The other one didn't. Massie didn't get money from AIPAC.
Okay.
Gallrain did. But Massie got 79% from Dems and Liberals PACs, and say Gallrain got 0.
I'm honestly not voting for either, because I don't want one person getting money from a foreign country.
You can't control that. Trump got money from AIPAC. Then what do you do?
120
No, but what I'm saying to you is Trump got money from AIPAC. Is that going to get you not to vote for Trump?
No, I haven't.
So in 2028, if Rubio gets money from AIPAC, you don't vote for him? If J.D. Vance gets money from AIPAC, you don't vote for him? And you have to vote for Newsom?
I would never go Democrat, ever.
But what this is saying to you is 79% of his donor base is Dems and liberals.
I think that's like a Trojan horse put in by the Democrats. If that, Pat, just say 80%. 80% of your money is coming from the opposition that's trying to destroy the country.
Why do you think? Why do you think it is, Adam? That's 79% according to FEC.
Crazy. Mm-hmm.
Rob, this is the report you gave me. Can you double verify this, that 79% is from Dems and liberal PACs?
That's crazy.
Go ahead, Adam.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think Thomas Massie is as bad as they're making him out to be. But, we read a book back in the day. You give us a assignment. It was called Ideal Team Player. Remember that, being a team player?
Yeah, Patrick Lencioni.
And the challenge with Massie is that he has such values and principles that mean so much to him. And respectfully, I hear you on that. But you're a part of a team. And you're a part of an agenda. And you're a part of the Trump agenda. Here's what we know about Trump. You're either with him or you're against him in the Republican Party. And whether he's been with him or not, and I'll get into some of the numbers, he's perceived as against him. So here's some numbers for you. Do you know that the average House representative, Republican representative, votes with Trump 95% of the time? So just pick a Republican representative, that person votes with Trump 95% of the time. A Senate Republican votes with Trump 96% of the time. So on average, there's about a 5 to 6% chance you're not voting with Trump. Where does Tom Massie fall on this list? Anyone want to take a guess?
If he votes
Percentage
for
of time that he votes with Trump.
15%.
15% he votes with
Trump.
Trump? What about you?
I think it's probably about 33%. I think it's probably a little overblown.
33% votes with Trump.
Correct.
Copy that. What about you, Pat?
The number you hear is 91% of the time he's with Trump. That's the number everybody keeps dropping. So tell us, what do you have?
You're very, very close.
Really?
Massie votes with Trump and the MAGA agenda 88% of the time, and he votes against the agenda 12% of the time. And then you might think, well, that's not that big of a deal. Well, he's second in voting against the Trump agenda. Who's first is a guy named Brian Fitzpatrick in Pennsylvania, who they basically say, great quarterback, great beard. They say he's like the John Fetterman of the Republican Party.
Brian.
He votes against Trump 20% of the time. So we're grading at a scale here. What's my point? In theory, you think he votes with Trump 15%. That's a big number.
What I'm seeing, yeah.
It's 85%, but 88%. But the reality is this: 10 to 12% will get you out of favor in the MAGA Republican Party. So, for instance, where did Marjorie Trader Greene vote with Trump? She was actually pretty average, 95%.
Jeez.
So what this shows is you're either not with Trump, are you with the agenda? And if you're against the agenda, and if you're in Trump's crosshairs, if you cross him,
10%,
you're going to be in his crosshairs.
10% off, 5% off.
So the people that he attacks the most, it's basically 80-20. Susan Collins, Murkowski, Rand Paul, 85 to 15, Mitch McConnell. The bottom line is this: you don't have to be against Trump on one or two things to get his attention. But if you're in that 10% range and you're blocking the team, what did J.D. Vance say? I'll end it on this. He said, on the times that we needed you, Thomas Massie,
You weren't there.
you weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine we're on a team. I was like, listen, I need you, Vinny, on this one, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Can I depend on you?
Yep.
And Thomas Massie goes, no, man, you can't. That's why Trump is going against him.
Here's what I would tell you. You need people like this in there for there to be a debate, okay? But the part that you got to know what America is saying, I used to be a big libertarian myself. I was a libertarian myself. I relate to a lot of the libertarian principles. Leave me alone. Let me go build my life. Mm-hmm. But guess what? The Libertarian Party, over and over and over again, has proven itself that your voice isn't big enough to win an election. The closest libertarian that ever won in the last 20, 30, 40 years is President Trump. He's the closest libertarian candidate they ever had. And here's what it really comes down to. The part where it comes down to me is the following, is that, you make your argument. So who sides with Massie? Is it fair to say Tucker sides with Massie?
Yes.
Is it fair to say Candace sides with Massie?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say...
That's her favorite politician.
Perfect. Is it fair? Who
and
else?
Massie
Give me
endorsed
the bigger
Dan
names.
Bilzerian.
Give me the bigger names that's going to be on Massie's side. Give me bigger names that are on Massie's side.
Tucker,
those are the names.
Candace,
okay. So
Dan
guess what?
Bilzerian.
So if that's who you want, which, by the way, we'll probably get criticized on the MAGA side. You stop talking about Epstein. We kept talking about it no matter what, and we're going to continue to. If a story comes out, we're going to talk about it because what happens to kids, I'm now with it. I want to keep talking about that. The other thing that for us to continue to talk about, some of the stuff that he supported is Ukraine, all that stuff. Okay, no problem. Why? That's not our war. That's somebody else's war. If we're going to fund our war that our leader made a decision to do, great, different story, and you can debate that and go ahead, but for us to go out there and give amount of money for other people's wars, different story. Because I'm not about constantly giving money to NATO, and NATO's not. So, yes, we're on that page together. But whenever you go up and you say, I'm going to go against the existing president, and here's what I'm going to do. Poof. Guess what? No, by the way, not poof. Because who did that? Who did that in 2015?
Trump.
Of course. And what did he do?
Oh, you're saying going against the
No,
establishment?
no.
whole system
Massie is following the playbook of Trump. Trump went against the establishment Republicans.
Sure.
Trump went against Bush's. Trump went against McCain. Trump went against everybody. But guess what Trump did? He won. Yeah. So if Massie's going to go make this argument to say, hey, I'm going to go against the existing establishment, and today's establishment is who?
Trump.
Now it's Trump. Trump was anti-establishment. Trump is now the establishment. Massie is now trying to be anti-establishment. And guess what? The market's going to tell you if they're with you or not. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if the market's not with you, guess what they're telling you? As much as we like you and we want your voice in there, we're more with this guy than we're with you. Why? Even if you go, and by the way, I've invited Massie to come on here. Rob, how many times have we invited Massie to be on here?
A dozen.
A dozen times to be on here. I want to talk to the guy, right? I wanted to talk to the guy. Obviously, at this point, it's tomorrow, so it's a different story. I want to know because he says something like that makes sense. I like what he's saying. So Boebert goes out there and says, look, she defends both of them. She says, I endorse Trump and I endorse, Massie, and I think Massie's good for the market, right? While she's doing this, Massie's kind of looking at her funny. I don't know if you saw this clip. Massie's kind of looking at her funny. He's like, I don't know if this is going to be good or bad for us. This is her. Below is my friend Thomas Massie. He loves America and is fighting to save it. Also below is my friend and President Donald Trump. He put his life on the line to save this country. I support both of these men. I've worked with both to serve freedom and liberty. And if that makes you angry, bless your heart.
That is.
Trump responds back. And Trump says, is anyone interested in running against weak-minded Lauren Boebert in Colorado's 4th congressional? You remember Lauren moved to the district when it became obvious that she couldn't win an original district. The third, a carpetbagger. Indeed, Boebert is campaigning for the worst Republican congressman in the history of our country, Thomas Massie. And then he goes on. And nobody who can be that dumb deserves a good primary fight. Even though I long ago endorsed Boebert, if the right person came along, it would be my honor to withdraw that endorsement and endorse a good and proper alternative. Just let me know or announce your candidacy. I will be there for you. Okay? So now, some people will say, well, that's a bully. You're pushing him out. This is the game of politics. Love her or hate it, this is why people watch it. This is why, to me, this is my favorite sport. I used to follow all these others. My favorite sport today is politics. It's such an interesting game to be a part of. Then there's this other guy, two-term Senator Cassidy, okay, who's in Louisiana, who was one of the 7 Republican senators who went and supported the impeachment for J6.
Yeah.
One of 7. And guess who gave Cassidy his endorsement first?
Trump?
Trump did. And he forgot. And he flipped on him. So guess what happened to him last night? A 2-term sitting senator of Louisiana lost last night. And if I asked you who beat him, I guarantee you don't know the name.
You're absolutely right.
And guess what that tells you? You know what it tells you? It doesn't matter if they know your name or not. Trump's endorsement still carries weight. Say whatever you want. Trump doesn't carry weight. He's lost his base. MAGA's lost. Really? Is that why Massie's flipped 8 points? Just a month ago, he's up. A month later, he's down. Is that why Cassidy lost? Because, he was saying whatever he was saying about the president. And by the way, even if you listen to his speech where he's like, well, this is not about one man. This is about ideas. And this is about this. You supported J6.
Sure.
And even a story Vinny maybe even cover later on today about Michael Fanone, if I'm saying the name correctly, that came out and the camera shows, guy wasn't having a heart attack. It was a bunch of bullshit. You fell for it.
Yep.
And you lost. So this is him giving his speech. Go ahead, Rob.
I've been able to participate in democracy.
No, I like Bill. I
And
thought
when-
he's a great
and-
senator, but he
Rob,
made
you
that
have two
political
clips.
decision.
You have.
You got
I know
Lindsey
you.
Graham going
No,
in the
because
background.
there's the thing people don't know about Rob. Rob loves Lindsey Graham's voice. So
He loves.
when I come and
it's
he's
like
all,
white
"Go ahead."
noise.
I
It's
get
white
it.
noise. for him.
Listen, guys, don't judge him. He's fine. Go ahead.
Very
I've been
white.
able to participate in democracy. And when you participate in democracy, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. But you don't pout. You don't whine. You don't claim the election was stolen. You don't find a reason why.
See, but this is the thing. You can pause that, and it sounds like you're getting support. Those claps, we're in the clap audit business. How many people are in that room clapping? Go back again to the
12?
clap. No, it's not 12. It's not 12. Listen to it again.
Let me hear
Go
this.
to 20 seconds.
Let's hear this.
Watch. How many?
I'm a good
little bit back because it's prior to a lap right
I'll
there.
tell you right
there.
now.
Find a reason why.
25 to 30.
25 to 50 at the most.
No,
Don't
there's not 50
manufacture
people.
some excuse.
Okay, what do you think it is, Rob? How many people?
Yeah,
clapping?
I wouldn't say it's any more than 25. That sounded like 4 people clapping.
Okay. All right.
So I was right.
Close
All
to the
right.
mic.
But listen, Rob is also guesstimating. I'm the professional with clapping.
Okay, gotcha.
There's wine sommeliers.
Jim
and there's
Clapper
Pat-
over here. So what's the over/under?
I don't know what the number is. It's not
20
a big
people.
number. I'm going to say high 50, low 30 is what I'm
Okay,
gonna
I agree.
Say. Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
But the part becomes you went against him for J6. So did Pence. Where's Pence? Pence launched a book yesterday. Did you guys see the tweet with Pence's book launch?
No.
How many guys even knew that Pence launched a book yesterday? Go to his Twitter account. Twitter account. Pence launched a book right there. Go to his link. This is a guy. Rob, can you do me a favor? Go to his account to show how many followers he has. He's got 5.6 million followers.
Damn.
Okay? He's a 48 VP that we had. Can you go back? Okay, can you go back to the how many likes did he get? 785. And look at the first comment. No one is buying your shitty book.
Traitor.
But this is
Wow.
not I don't maybe it's a good book. I don't know if it's a good book or a bad book. But you went against somebody, you took the position, you lost. We lost.
Yeah.
Right? Like Tropic Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Now you're lost. Now you don't know what to do. So what happened? So look, Trump still carries the big stick. Trump still carries the endorsement. What's this, Rob? Do we have the exact how many it is?
This looks like the concession speech yesterday, and here's the amount.
Can you
of people.
fast forward a little bit to see if we can tell how many people? Does somebody do a turnaround? I can't see the stuff. You see, I
Yeah,
want to see
there's-
the behind.
There's less.
Well, it looks like 49 people. Guys, 49, 51 people in the room. Somewhere on.
And on the left, those
Yeah.
are our professional
So,
photographers. That's
so
media.
I'll come to you with Cassidy. Adam, your thoughts on Cassidy losing and Massie being where he's at right now. Today or tomorrow, you said, Rob? It's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Well,
Adam.
Cassidy
thought.
already lost. I
He
would
lost.
say.
Yeah, he lost
And
yesterday.
then if you want to pull up the cal sheet for Massie, he, in the last week or two, it's just gone the exact opposite way. There it is. Ed Galrain.
Never heard of
So,
him.
Doesn't matter. He's in.
He's a
talking-
Republican.
But here's a couple of quick things. Number one, you talked about libertarianism. I flirted with being a libertarian for a little bit. And then I realized I have to live in the real world and not live in fantasy land. Where if it's okay if you're in Kentucky, because who are the biggest libertarians? A lot of them are in Kentucky for some reason. The Rand Pauls of the world, the Massies of the world. But then reality steps in and goes, yeah, you actually have a real country to run. Peace through strength, stability through strength. We have to actually do things that you might not want to do, but have to do. And that's where libertarian sort of falls apart. But regarding Cassidy, his fatal flaw was almost the Godfather thing. And what's the famous line in the Godfather? Never go against the family.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, you can disagree, but you don't do it publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republican, there's a graveyard of people that went against Trump publicly. You brought up Mike Pence. I mean, I'll just go rapid fire here. Liz Cheney, Mike Pence, you talked about, Chris Christie, Adam Kinzinger, if you remember him, probably the greatest name in politics, Adam, you know. But he's now basically, he's nowhere to be found. John Bolton, Chris Christie, all these people went against Trump, and where are they now? That doesn't mean that you can't go against Trump, but when you do it publicly, that's the problem. Can I give one quick example? I've learned from you on some leadership, doing against the agenda. There might be people that worked here that are no longer here that maybe I think highly of, or I don't, whatever. But I'm not going to say how I feel about them and undermine you publicly. That would be so stupid. Walk the company line. I'm on the agenda. There's people that may have worked here that I didn't like. I don't say anything about them. There's people that worked here recently that are in the public eye. I don't say a word. None of my business.
Apparently, multiple people's public eye. But
correct.
Keep going.
But there's also people that worked here that I really liked.
Yeah.
But they're out of favor. And for me, I keep it in the family. So what these guys are learning is you can do your criticism of them, but when you go on the national stage and you try to get elected by going against Trump, you're basically a dead man walking. Thomas Massie.
Yeah. I mean, look, but that's the part. So if you think, I actually respect the risk.
I do too.
I respect the risk, but that doesn't mean you are going to win.
Nope.
And you thought you were bigger than him. People keep saying, I think after Trump is over with, his endorsement's going to mean nothing in 2028. Data's saying otherwise.
Yeah.
Data's saying otherwise. Tom.
So I love case studies, and I love studying politics, and I'll add something here really fast. Everybody remembers Joe Lieberman. 2 years ago, he had a fall at home, passed away in his 80s, older gentleman at that time. Really sad. Served the country well. He was the VP candidate in 2000, but he got behind the 9/11 and the Patriot Act and the Department of Homeland Security, and a lot of people didn't like that. And when he came up, a 3-time Senate incumbent in 2006, the Dems sent a guy named Ned Lamont to go get him.
Great name.
And Ned Lamont beat him 52-48 in the primary. And so here's Lieberman, a 3-time senator and vice presidential candidate in 2000. He was almost VP if that very close race had gone the other way. But he said, wait a minute, I believe the people of Connecticut want more. I'm running as Lieberman for Connecticut, and I will run as an independent. And when the race ran as independent, he got 49%. Lamont got 39. He beat him by 10 points. And so there is a way back if you've been manipulated, and Joe Lieberman showed as an independent there is a way back. But right now with these endorsements, I don't see a way back for some of these people because Lieberman didn't go negative. He just got caught out by his party because they didn't like where he was standing, but he didn't go up against the guys.
Tom, if I told you right now, give me one fact. Give me one fact, Vinny, outside of what we've talked about Ed Galrain, what would you say?
Ed Galrain?
Yeah. Aside from the fact that you know he's a Navy SEAL, because others have said it, what else can you say about Ed Galrain? This is him, by the way.
Can I be honest with you? That's the first time I've ever seen his face.
Okay, so check this out. He's got 45,000 followers on Twitter. This is a Navy SEAL, okay? You know why his hair is like that in that picture?
Why?
Because he's a farmer. That's a farmer's
He's out
haircut.
there.
Look at the farmer.
I respect
He's
it.
working.
There's a
And by the
farm
way,
behind him.
5th generation farmer.
Wow.
5th generation farmer in
Respect to you.
Kentucky, okay? Did multiple tours, 4 Bronze Stars, Navy SEAL captain, was a Ranger. When you look at his stuff that he's done. So, but this is the point I'm trying to make. Nobody knew who he was except for some of the people out of Tucky, okay? And what happens? Now he's beating Massie. Go to Massie, Rob, how many followers he's got. Go to Massie to see his influence. Go to his X account. It's got to be in the millions. How many followers does he have?
Probably
Okay.
7.
And by the way, it's not just 1.7. It's a true, loyal 1.7 people that follow this guy, right? And even with that, you can't beat a guy who no one knows about. Ed Galrain with 45,000 followers. And I'm willing to bet a lot of that 45,000 followers came after the president endorsed him.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because you are not bigger than Trump. And FYI, as much as that bothers you, up until you can get bigger than Trump to make better arguments, you're going to lose. It's very simple. That's how competition works. Doesn't mean don't compete. It doesn't mean sit this one out. It definitely means 2028 election is going to be interesting on who's going to go against what. But it is competition that's exciting, and we'll see what happened here.
To me, they like Massie, but they love Trump, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the point. And you want to get that last final word to, because without that commentary, the story doesn't tie up. So you tie the
per my contract, I have to give an interruption.
Yeah.
Of
Of course.
Thomas Massie
How it works.
on
Of course,
X.
yeah, for sure.
Location,
All right,
Appalachian.
Let's go to the next one here.
saw
Let's
that.
go to the next one. This story I want to get to is New Yorkers. I feel bad for New Yorkers. We want to give you good news. We want to give you good news. The good news is the New York Mets beat the Yankees the last 2 games. That's the only good news you got. And that's if you're a Mets fan and You know how it is. Mets versus Yankees fans, very big difference. They've done
Shortstop
studies in that.
tackled the
Yeah, Tom was celebrating. Tom was celebrating in a big way. But let me tell you what Hochul was saying. So you know the whole thing with $5 million properties? It's so bad that Mamdani tried to reach out to Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin didn't even pick up. It's like, I don't even want to talk to you guys. No, you went and doxed my freaking place. Now you want to talk to me? Why don't you reach out to me before doxing where I live and where I have a property at? No. You know, that's not what we want to do. You have this taxing of the second home plan, and Hochul comes out of nowhere and says, no, let's not make it $5 million, Vinny. Like, if you have a house over there, $4.9 million, guess what? No second home taxes. You're going to be okay. She drops it from $5 million to $1 million, Vinny. Wait. And then she says it's only about 8,000 people that have second homes in New York. Some say it's hundreds of thousands of second homes. Americans have 6.5 million second homes in a different place. How many do you think is going to be in New York? No, it's not really going to be that big of an impact. It's not. So ultra-wealthy non-New York residents who use these high-value apartments or homes as secondary properties rather than their primary resident projected revenue expected to raise at least $500 million annually to help close New York City's budget gap. Tax rates properties value between 5 to 15 million will be taxed at 0.8%. Properties between 15 to 25 million will be 1.05. Properties above 25 million will be 1.3. You know what she ends up saying now? Vinny, she wants to lower that from 5 million to 1 million. Tom, why is this such a big deal? And she's getting pushback on this, but why is this such a big deal?
Well, it's a big deal because over the weekend, I said it among all of us. I said, I believe this was going to happen in exactly March of 2029. Why? Wait to the election. Just wait a couple years. Do it then. Or do it maybe in March of 2027. But get through the election. So I was thinking, that's what will happen. I didn't think it was going to happen in 4 weeks. But guess what? The truth of these, it's true in Seattle. It's true in the initiative that's going to be on the ballot in California in the fall. And it's true in New York. Good news, we're taxing the rich. Bad news, I changed my mind. You're rich too. And you. Guess what? You never give the Democrats a knob on taxes because they're going to turn it. And the other problem is Hochul has got $4 billion she's sending to New York City as support for this. She's sending that to New York. So guess what? She's like, you need to raise this tax because the people of New York, and if you've ever seen an electoral map by county of New York, it will shock you. You would think that it's all blue. It's not. The electoral map of Canada, county by county, is shocking. Everybody that's outside of New York City, and by the way, some of this is old. It was even closer than that in the most recent election. And so the problem is she's got to find money, and she's supporting him, Pat. And guess what? Oh, what a surprise.
Adam, thoughts?
Well, look, this comes down to this is the $1 million question, right? Because as Tom eloquently put, it's rules for thee, not for me. Because once you say, okay, $5 million. So let's say your property is worth $1 million or $2 million. You're like, whew, escape that one. Yeah, tax those guys. Oh no, sorry guys, bad news. We're actually going to lower it to $1 million. Now all of a sudden, do you know what percentage of New Yorkers have to fear this tax increase? Do you know what percentage of homes in New York are worth over $1 million? They say 60 to 80% of homes in New York City are worth over $1 million. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to go visit a good buddy of mine in New York. He's like, I just bought this great new apartment. Come by, check it out. I'm like, okay. It's like a little brownstone right near the World Trade Center. I go, okay, cool. He goes, yeah, I'm on the 5th floor. No elevator. You got to walk up. Oh, okay, cool. I walk up. He has this tiny little 1-bedroom / studio hut shoebox. I go, and he did it up. He did all the bells and whistles. He goes, this place looks great. It's amazing.
He or she?
He did, a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
So I go in. I'm looking around the apartment. I go, dude, that's really nice. I like what you did with the place, but it's tiny as hell. I mean, tiny. I'm taking a piss in the bathroom. I said, what's this worth? He goes, yeah, I got a good deal on it, 1.2. I go, this is a $1.2 million apartment. Keep in mind, this is pre-COVID, so I don't even know what it's worth now. The point is this. For a shoebox, it's $1 million. By the way, in the United States, 8 to 10% of homes are worth over $1 million. So it's a complete different anomaly here. But when you start lowering taxes and the threshold is 1 million, that's basically 60 to 80% of New Yorkers that are going to feel a tax increase.
Let me put it to you this way. When you say percentages, that's right. But if you actually bring it to numbers, which is what he's got right there, 356,000 units are valued over $1 million in New York City. You know how many over 5 million? 7,000.
Yeah.
7 to 13,000. So you went from 7 to 13,000 are going to be taxed on the properties to all of a sudden 356,000. So you know what this does? Some people are sitting there, Tom. It makes me think about a couple different things. So if I have a second home in New York City, am I still paying property taxes?
Yes, indeed.
Am I taking advantage of the taxes I'm investing my money into? Let me ask the question one more time. If I'm in Florida, I buy a penthouse in New York City, just because when I'm going to the Yankees game, I want to stay at our penthouse instead of stay at a hotel. Am I paying property taxes for that property as a second home? I am.
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
But am I taking advantage of all the tax services that you're taking my money to create those services?
not.
for?
You're not there. You're
No.
living here.
Your kids are going to school down here.
So
You know,
am I?
They don't have to protect you with a police because you're not there.
Isn't that a good customer?
Yeah.
That's like the,
That's- I like the way you
the
put
best.
that.
Did you
like
understand what that?
Yeah.
Let me
You're
explain to you what
paying
this
a
means.
fee, but not getting
This
anything
is like
for it.
Equinox Gym has 10,000 members, of which 50% never use the gym, never make it nasty, never use the shower, never do any of that stuff, but they're paying the $150 a month. Are those not good customers for
Absolutely.
Equinox? Can you imagine if Equinox Gym, or you run a gym and says, those of you that are paying your monthly membership but you don't take advantage of the gym, we're going to give you a 10% fee. Use the damn gym. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
All it matters is I'm paying in.
Yeah.
And I'm even paying taxes.
And by the way, you're paying homeowners
No,
association.
you need to use the gym more often.
Forceful
I'm like,
gym membership.
Johnny, I'm one of those guys that buys memberships and never goes. Take the money. No, damn it. Come down here. That's what they're... Do you understand how dumb the logic is?
Yep.
So you got a customer that's got a $250 million property that the guy's paying taxes on, and you're bitching about him?
Yeah.
He's putting a few $1 million of tax revenue into your city. You're bitching about him? Keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
And just take the revenue. Because how many other customers want to buy that $50 million property?
Not many.
How many other people want to buy that $250 million penthouse?
Oh,
that
and
came
Maybe
from
a
Walmart?
handful, if
Oh, a
that.
handful.
But by the way, you know what? They don't. You know why the story of that $250 million property is? It goes too much this way. So if you actually, I don't know if you know the story about it.
The actual property, Ken Griffin's?
The actual
No,
property,
that's- It
the
goes
way
from
they
like
build
100
it, the way they build it, wind makes it
No
move so
way.
much that
No way.
Yeah.
I would lose my mind.
the way
there.
they build the property
What?
apparently.
It
No,
gusts the New
because
York winds.
typically
It's like the Leaning Tower of
buildings
Pisa
move
in New
3
York City?
feet.
No,
on average, some buildings
I'm
move
good,
3
Pat.
feet because of the wind.
I'm good.
But yes, I mean you can go verify this. I'm not
What?
telling you. It's not like you think.
Buildings are rocking?
One of the most important things that they figured out in the 60s when they started building high rises that buildings need to move around 3 feet. Okay, they need to sway, or else they break. So they build. Guys, I don't want to go into architecture.
You're not.
history,
I know
my
because
background
he's
with
so
this kind of
good.
stuff.
This is so
No.
funny.
But they build these
The
things.
sway
They
and
just
high
need the
winds,
sway.
gotcha.
Yeah, up to
Okay.
36 inches. There you go. Design
Listen.
threshold is 36 inches due to extreme weather. So they're saying that one is even more. So imagine you're like, so how was dinner? So what are we doing tomorrow?
That
How long
Mamdani.
can you do this?
Yeah.
So people are like, I don't want to buy that property
No.
because you don't want to do this all day long. Can you imagine like the the fish is kind of going like this and the aquarium, everything is kind of moving. You put the drink here. No, it's mine. It goes over here. But so there's not that many customers. You're getting free money. I think it's a dumb move. I think this is their way of lowering property value, and it's absolutely double dumb. And they're going to force more people to leave and come to states like
I
Florida.
was just going to ask you this, Pat. At one point, once these type of laws and rules that they're putting in, once more people start leaving, where are they going to get all this money from that they're trying to tax, rich, and give to the poor? What happens when that happens? When they go, guys, we're trying to get the money, we're not getting it because everybody's leaving and moving to places like Austin and Florida. Then what?
Oh,
Because it's happening.
Vinny, it is so hard to get people back
Oh,
to come to your state.
once they're gone, they're gone.
It's so hard to get them back. See, it's different than losing a customer. You go to a restaurant, like I used to, I'll give you a crazy story, okay? I'll give you a crazy story. We go to this local yacht membership place in Fort Lauderdale, okay? When we go to this place, our neighbor says, come take a look at this place. All right? So we go. I think I told you this story. Right? Did I tell you this story or no?
It's about a month ago.
Yeah. So I go there. So it's me, Jen, the kids. And Jen's trying to find us. So we get the tour. This guy named Shane is giving us the tour. Okay? So I'm like, all right, cool. Here's what it looks like. I've been to this event before. School put a couple events, so I've been there before. It's a nice place. It's a nice place we can go eat. So I'm like, all right, let me see if the kid, my biggest thing is, let me see if the kids are going to like this place or not. So I'm minding my own business. We sit down, we're eating, and then Shane comes. I just want to let you know the membership is going to be $25,000 and $1,400 a month. So you do the math. What is that?
I don't know.
but you do, how much you paying per year?
Do that.
Roughly $40K.
Yeah.
$40,000 give or take with everything. A little over $40K. Okay. Well, long story short, we're sitting there. Brooklyn, Dylan, and Senna go over there to play by this park. In the Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club, they come back. They're a little bit, what's the word, flustered?
Uneasy?
They're a little bit like, I'm like, what happened? Somebody just came in and screamed at Brooklyn. I said, what? Yeah. What did they say? Get off the tree. Get off the tree. Get off the tree. I said, who said? And Brooklyn looks a little bit scared.
Yeah.
And I looked at Dylan. I said, Dylan, who said that? Some guy said that. Did he really raise his voice? 3 times at Brooklyn. Senna, did he really raise his voice? Have you ever heard Dylan and Tico Senna tell you something like this? Never. By the way, this event has never happened in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, point at the guy that did this. Our waiters, great. Shane's done a good job to giving us the tour. He's a what do you call it? One of these, what is that? CrossFit type of guy. In shape, good guy, good story. We're talking about my torn ACL, all this stuff. They point at the waiter. And I'm looking at the waiter, Rainier, some name like that, whatever his name is. So as he's going by, Jennifer at this point is like, here we go.
She knows it's coming.
I say, hey, can I talk to you when you get a chance? I'll get to you. I got to drop this off. No problem. He goes over there, drops it off, then comes back to me. I said, did you raise your voice at this 4-year-old girl right here? No, I just told her respectfully to get off the tree. Dylan and Senna are looking at me. I said, I'm going to ask this one more time. Did you repeat yourself 3 times? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she got off the tree because I didn't want her to be on the tree. I said, you're a waiter, you're a bartender, you're telling her she's got to get off the tree? Yes, I said, so why are you getting so nervous right now? I told him.
Yeah.
I said,
How was he acting?
He's hyperventilating. I said, why? I said, Dylan, Senna, did he ever say get off the tree in a respectful, raise his voice? Dylan's like, he raised his voice. Senna, he raised his voice. I said, so you're telling me they're lying right now? Your kids are lying.
Oh my! In front of them,
he accused them of lying.
Yeah, I said so let me get this straight.
Wow.
I've seen them.
Your memory, Shane is asking me for $40,000 at this Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club. It's not like you're asking for $10,000, $5,000. You want $40,000. And this is the kind of service I'm going to get? I said, this is a problem for me. He leaves, runs off in the middle of the conversation, goes back to the bar. I see he's talking to everybody. Shane finds out. My waiter that we tipped him 66%, he goes, grabs Shane, and a manager comes. Guy named Jay comes. Jay's the manager, GM, African-American guy. So he's trying to do his customer service, how to win friends and influence people. And then I said, hey, here's what happened. I'm not comfortable with that. You want me to pay $40K. That guy's going to, if he's going to be serving my family and friends that I come here, I don't trust him making drinks for my guys.
Of course.
So then I say, hey, show me where this place is at. So the manager goes and takes the bartender. They're in the corner talking to the bartender. They're kind of giving him a little bit of a questioning to find out what happens. I come around. I said, show me what tree it is. Vinny, it's 2 palm trees in the middle like this. Mm-hmm. So she's hanging on to the 2 palm trees like this and standing on. What does Brooklyn weigh?
30 pounds.
30 pounds, right?
Girl.
So then I'm about to leave. We have to investigate this. I go while they're talking. I said, Shane, can you come here for me? I said, Shane, look at that camera. Vinny, the camera's 8 feet off the tree. Mm-hmm. I said, there's another camera over there. So I'm recording this to show him. These are the different cameras that you have. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm doing?
Of course.
I said, I need you to tell me a report on how it's, because you have it right there. You can see exactly what happened. Great. Mm-hmm. We leave. We're going to do an investigation. I never hear back from anybody. But guess what? Shane texts me. And he says, my GM's going to give you a call. It was totally uncalled for that server at the restaurant to say anything at your daughter, but maybe to be careful. She was just being a kid and playing like kids do. However, I'm going to ask you to not base your decision to become a member on that, as I know you have a great opportunity to create many great memories here. You still haven't addressed the issue. You still want me to pay you $40,000.
Right.
It's a salesperson. So I said, Jay hasn't called me yet. Jay calls me. He says, we looked at the video. I said, what happened? We gave him a pip. We wrote him up. I said, he's still there? Yeah. I said, is this all you want to tell me? Yeah, that's it. No problem. I'm out. You'll never see me again at this place. But can they maybe win me over if Jay is not there, Shane is not there, the other guy's not there? Yeah, maybe in 10 years.
Yes.
So meaning you can win people back when things change, except for states. You can't win people back with states because when people leave, they have to put their kids in a new school. They get a new house. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard with what New York is doing right now to their regular folks. $1 million may seem like a lot of money in Arkansas, may seem like a lot of money in South Dakota, may seem like a lot of money in, Idaho. $1 million home in New York City is nothing. Like he explained earlier with his girlfriend. So with his friend, you have stuff like that.
We're just friends now.
Yeah, I know you're just friends. So anyways, we'll see. That was a quick shout out to Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club.
100%.
Jay, Shane, I was kind of disappointed with the way you handled the situation at a place that expect me to pay you $40,000, and we would have become a member with you. We actually look forward to it. But there's no way in the world that guy's going to make drinks for me and my friends when I come over there. Don't trust that guy. And don't trust your decision making. So let's move on. Let's go to the next thing. All right, so next story I want to get to here is Trump over the weekend tweets. Trump killed the number 2 ISIS guy. Out of nowhere, everybody's minding their own business, and Trump puts out one of his tweets. And I was hoping it was going to be a video because we wanted to hear Abu Bakr Akbari, dead, die like a dog. We didn't get that, but we got a tweet. So we have to do this with visualization of him doing it that way. Tonight, at my direction, brave American forces and armed forces of Nigeria flawlessly executed a meticulously planned and very complex mission to eliminate the most active terrorists in the world from the battlefield. Abu Bilal al-Minuki, second in command ISIS globally, thought he could hide in Africa, but little did he know, we had sources who kept us informed on what he was doing. He will no longer terrorize the people of Africa or help plan operations to target Americans. With his removal, ISIS's global operation is greatly diminished. Thank you to the government of Nigeria for your partnership on this operation. Tom, why is this so important?
Well, here's what they've done. They've demonstrated that you can run, but you can't hide. And what they did here, they just took out a leader. This is not a casual guy. This is not a guy, Vinny, that was just down there, with some other group of ISIS saying, hey, you need a hand this weekend. You're going to be doing some things. No, this is the number 2 guy and a strategist. And what this demonstrates is that A, our intelligence knew where he was. B, we cooperated and we worked with Nigerian forces. And C, we came inside and we offed him. We did what needs to be done. I shouldn't say offed him like some mob hit.
There's actually a video.
In war, we came in and we terminated him. And so what you have is very simple, Pat. We can get you, and they just got to leadership. Now, is other leaders going to fill in the void? Sure. Are there other ISIS fighters were there? Sure. Do we need to find clusters of ISIS fighters? Like the time Donald Rumsfeld was asking a reporter, said, well, there's going to be hundreds of people that are ISIS that are protesting in the street here. Really? What day and what time and what are those coordinates?
Yeah.
Where is Rumsfeld saying, where are they going to be? So I think this is a good thing. There needs to be more of these surgical strikes of these kind of leaders, Pat, because they're the ones wreaking the havoc, and we need to send a message to ISIS.
Vinny, why is this important to you?
It's extremely important to me, Pat, especially because it's what this guy was in charge of doing to the Christians in Nigeria. I'm so happy that this story's back. The one thing that actually disappointed me is CNN, all these other networks, not a peep. And here, like, everybody knows, I love how people are like, you guys, there's nothing Trump could do wrong. I criticize about the war. I don't like how it was going. I criticize about Epstein. I'm furious that it's not coming out. Put all that aside. If you can acknowledge when he does something great, give me a break. With all the stuff that's happening, with the war, getting off of a plane from China to try to make peace deals, to try to do this, try to do that, Cuba, Venezuela, everything, close the border. With everything that's happening, you can't take a second and go, okay, this guy stopped the number 2 guy, guys, in all of ISIS and killed him. The guy that was burning churches, the guys that was wiping out freaking families by the thousands, okay? And nobody's saying anything. So it's frustrating that when somebody does good, you can't give them credit where credit's due. I love this freaking move, and it was silent. And by the way, this is right when he got back from China. So good for him. And by the way, the fact that his name was Abu is hilarious.
Abu. Well, this is another version of what Trump, or what I've called stability through strength. You know, the whole doctrine of peace through strength, I think is a little outdated. We're never going to have peace with ISIS. We're never going to have peace with Al-Qaeda. Hey, Al-Qaeda, how you doing? You know, the top 10 terror groups in the world are all Muslim. You know, I'm sorry to inform you. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, the Houthis, but that's terrorizing all the region. Who kills the most Christians, though, specifically? The vast majority of Christians are no longer in the Middle East. I don't know if you've heard that. Jews have all have to leave this country. Now Christians are leaving this country. The one country that actually did have Christians was Lebanon. We're seeing what's going on there. But who kills the most Christians? A lot of that happens in Africa. So ISIS is number 1 on the Christian kill leaderboard. Number 2 is Boko Haram. You've heard of them. Number 3 is Al-Shabaab. And number 4 is the Taliban. And then we have Al-Qaeda. So a lot of the Christians that are being killed are in these African countries. And this is essentially what needs to get done for stability through strength.
Yeah, I like it. I like seeing this. By the way, Rob, if you don't mind, a correction, and if you can add this to the clip of me talking about the Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club. Jennifer just corrected me. It's the Coral Ridge Yacht Club. I want to make sure the right place is getting the shout out. This is the place that Shane and Jay allowed that waiter to handle my 4-year-old daughter the way that they did, screaming at him 3 different times. I want to make sure Coral Ridge Yacht Club gets the right recognition for the criticism, not Fort Lauderdale Yacht Club. Those are 2 different places because Fort Lauderdale is the yacht capital of the world. I have to make sure I get those right. Rob, make sure you cut this and put in the other clip. I want to make sure Coral Ridge gets
respect,
the proper shout out that they deserve, that they got a few weeks ago. I was hoping to be handled in a different way. Okay. All right, let's get to the next story. They're probably going to be like, what the hell is going on here? But guess what?
If you're the Fort Lauderdale people get fired.
You allow a place, and you know what I asked them? I said, listen, if you guys are going to treat 4-year-olds like this, don't even let kids here.
Yeah.
Say adults only. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But if you're going to allow a place like this to have kids, you better learn how to deal with 4-year-old kids. If you don't know how to deal with a 4-year-old kid, how the hell are you going to handle a 40-year-old?
Yeah.
So very disappointed. I'm sure you can't tell from my emotions, but
no, you're very stoic.
It is what it is. All right, so let's go to the next one. While this is going on, and all these conversations are being had, Long Island strike. 300,000 people are being affected. It's one of the top 3 stories. If you look up the top 3 stories, this is one of the top 3 stories.
Really?
Hochul is blaming Trump on this because of what's going on. I'll just read it to you. Trump and Hochul clash over Long Island's rail strike impacting 300,000 New Yorkers. And I'll just kind of read it to you. And Rob, if you can play this clip. Failed New York State Governor Hochul, a Democrat, just blamed me for the Long Island Railroad strike. Do you have the clip on that one as well, Rob? Both of them, or that was more of a tweet?
I think that was a tweet. I'll look for it.
When she knows it. So along 3,500 Long Island Railroad, LIRR, workers went on strike on Saturday after negotiations over a new wage agreement fell through. The LIRR workers' first strike in over 30 years, and a halt in service is expected to impact over 300,000 commuters. New York's Metropolitan Transit Authority, MTA, has encountered with a 3% wage increase proposal, citing concerns that further increase could cut into city and state's budget, raise fare rates for passengers. Here's Hochul. Go ahead, Rob.
This potential strike was needlessly accelerated by reckless, unprecedented action from the Trump administration. Don't forget that.
Yeah, here she goes.
They thwarted the mediation process, which is what the normal course of business would have been, and perhaps brought us to a better place by now. But be it as it may, I must be prepared to respond. And when I became governor, this railroad was struggling. Ridership post-pandemic was down, and there were calls to right-size the service, which means cut service. I took a different approach. While our revenues were down, I knew we had to create a better customer experience to get more people to come back on and feel comfortable
because you're very good at keeping customers.
The railroad again to work for their everyday business.
You don't lose customers at all to other states.
So instead of right-sizing service, I invested in the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah.
While other
sure.
systems have cut
You
service.
can pause it right there, Rob. Let's go to Trump's tweet about this because I know she's for 3 minutes, and I honestly want the audience to have a good day today. Phil, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, a Democrat, just blamed me for Long Island strike when she knows full well that I have nothing to do with it. Never even heard about it until this morning. She just blurted out, it's President Trump's fault. No, Kathy, it's your fault. And now looking over the facts, you should not have allowed this to happen. If you can't solve it, let me know, and I'll show you how to properly get things done. This would have been an easy one for Bruce Blakeman. He should be your next governor in New York State, would turn around fast, including far less crime and much lower taxes. Kathy, call me. If you can't do it, I will get it done. I know all the players, great people. And you know he does when he's saying this. Tom, why is this such a big story?
It's a big story because you know what it shows? That the Dems can't run a business. And I hate to say it like that. I hate to be so blunt, but this is exactly what's going on. And now the funny thing is the Dems take money from unions and say, oh, just go with us, go with us, go with us, blindly go with us. Just throw your support behind us. Bad Trump, anti-Republican, until there's a strike. And during the strike, do you know where they were, Pat? The Metropolitan Transit Authority in New York City agreed to give them a 9.5% wage hike. That's what they agreed. You know what they were asking for? They were asking for 10.5 to 11. Look how close they were. But then the union woke up the next day and said, you know what? We've been looking at the healthcare prices, and we think instead of a 2% increase in healthcare, we really need that to be a 10% increase in healthcare. And then they're like, wait. I thought we had an agreement over here and we're going to do some retroactive raises. Nope, screw you. We want more. So just when the MTA came forward to give that 9.5%, they moved the finish line and they said the union ran over here. Well, guess what? Kathy Hochul, you take union money in your election. Go talk to the union boss and make them play ball. Work with them. But instead, no, it's Trump's fault. Sorry, that's why this is so big, Pat. The hypocrisy of it is so stark. And there's 300,000 people a day. And then New York City, you know what New York City said? We're going to have additional bus service today. You know what the additional bus service offered? 12,500 extra riders. You know what the Delta with LIRR shut down? 226,000. Wow. So really, thank you so much. Hey, we have extra buses for free. There'll be free buses, extra buses. Yeah, for 12,500 people, and you got 226,000 people. And by the way, people were interviewed by CBS New York saying, listen, I can't work from home. I'm a teacher. There's 2 weeks left in the school year. I simply have to get to the city to my job.
Adam.
I mean, it's the same thing we always hear. When you have no argument, there's two words that you could use in the Democratic Party that will always get you votes.
Blame
Trump. Yeah. Do you ever just, this is random, I just thought of this. You ever watch South Park back in the day? They had this song where they go, what should we do?
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada. And they blame Canada. And it basically took over. It's like, what's the problem? I don't know, just blame Canada. The Democratic Party is the blame Canada version of Trump.
Perfect.
All they want to do is blame Trump. Tell me what Trump has to do with the Long Island Railroad, with Kathy Hochul and Mamdani and their socialist policies. New York, what does he have to do with it? And then Trump, who is not shy, goes, look at these Democrats. That's what he calls them these days. They're dumb. They're Democrats. Quote unquote, I have nothing to do with it. And in fact, I never even heard about it until this morning. So it's like, okay, who's lying? Is Trump lying? Or is Kathy Hochul lying? I'll let you be the decider right there.
It's like, and you notice how I just said in the previous segment, like when somebody does something right, give them credit. What can you name something that they're doing right? It seems every single thing that you hear, Pat, from California and New York, nothing is positive. It's promises made and none of them are being kept. I feel bad for the people that are there. Yes, they voted and they thought that they got sold on it, but give me some progress. If your entire message is, hey, all of you guys, we're going to grab the richest people and take all their money and give it to you guys, and then they're leaving, what the hell's the message? What are you standing on? And Tom, this is horrible. I have a lot of family that lives in New York. This is affecting a lot of freaking people, and it's just perpetual. It's bad news, bad news, bad news. Give us something positive.
Hey.
It's driving me crazy.
The Yankees are doing good.
Yeah, but it's still pretty early. Everybody
Not the last 2 weeks.
Not the last
Hey,
two.
guys, I'm sorry, guys. I tried to give you something
listen,
positive.
They,
the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Final.
And by the way, the Pistons lost yesterday to Cavs because of Donovan Mitchell playing lights out, which is great. Which will,
good.
I know. Listen, I know you guys want us to 2 hours of sport,
Begging.
and I want to deliver for you, but just be patient. The survey was so funny.
It was hilarious.
We want all sports. Is what we want. All right, let me get to the next story. Next story is UK. Keir Starmer, rough weekend. I think it's fair to say this is a rough weekend for Keir.
Understatement.
I'm not talking personal life. I'm talking like it was a rough weekend for him with what happened. So this is London, all because of one guy. Some call him, he says, I'm a small guy, but he's got a big heart. Tommy Robinson. Look at this. Look at this. And they're like, nah, it was only 5,000. Nah, it was only 50,000. Nah, it was only 100,000. I don't know how many it is. But the way Rob is zooming this out slowly, like it's foreplay. He's not going fast to show you. Look at this as it gets all the way out.
That is bananas.
How many people showed up? Rob, can you just zoom out a little bit faster to see where it's at? Look at this. And by the way, look at this. Vinny, that's crazy.
I thought that was his AI.
Wow. That's crazy on what happens.
Good for you, UK.
So while that is going on, Tommy's going out talking about what's going on in the street. Same exact thing with the United King rally with Tommy Robinson. Is this Keir Starmer responding to it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Rob.
Tomorrow's march in London is a reminder of what we're up against in the battle of our values. The organisers, including convicted thugs and racists,
doesn't want to say his name.
peddling
Tommy
hatred
Robinson.
and division. Plain and simple. Their goal is to convince people that Britain's problems are caused by those living alongside them. But that is not the Britain that I know. This is a country built on decency, fairness and respect. A country that is at its best when people from different backgrounds come together in common purpose. This is our country, with a majority who share those values, a majority who may not always be as loud,
What's Nick Young
but must
doing there?
always define who we are. So my government will not stand
Now,
in the way of peaceful
nice video, nice motivation.
I love the shot. He's looking out the window with notes. They're like, look outside the window, like you're really focused on.
Now,
on the
while he's doing this,
heavy club
Rob, can you get to the tweet saying that he's going to be stepping down? I don't know if you saw that or not. There's a not even a tweet. I think there's stories saying that he will be stepping down here anytime. There was even videos of him walking and just walking very fast to get away from all the people. Is that it, Rob, with Trump commenting on Keir Starmer?
Yes.
Go a little bit higher. What does that say? Let me, because it's a minute 43. Just in Starmer's developing plans immediately to step down per Daily Mail. Good, the UK needs a leader. And here's what the president had to say about it. Go ahead, Rob.
Starmer, the Prime Minister there, is in a lot of trouble. I know you were asked about this.
Well, he's in trouble for two reasons, energy and immigration. He's very bad on energy. He should open up the North Sea. He's got a coal mine, and he should open up oil in the North Sea, and he doesn't. They have a tremendous value. You know, they buy their oil, a lot of it, from Norway. Norway gets it from the North Sea. Not as good an area as Scotland and the UK has. So they're paying Norway a fortune for oil that they take out of the North Sea.
Do you think Starmer's going to survive as Prime Minister?
It's a tough thing, unless he can straighten out immigration where he's weak. And if he doesn't start drilling and stop with the windmills all over the place that are causing havoc. They're causing havoc. Most expensive form of energy. They kill the birds. They're unsightly. They're ruining the landscape. If he doesn't stop with the windmills, he's got to do energy. He's got to open up the North Sea. You know, he's got one of the greatest oil finds anywhere in the world, and he's not using it. And I tell him that. He's not using it.
Should he quit?
The oil companies call me every day. Please, please, we want to go to the North Sea. He doesn't allow it to happen.
Should he quit?
I don't say that. I think he's a nice man, actually. But, I mean, I didn't like when he said, we're going to send ships as soon as you're finished with the war, as soon as you're... Well, we're sort of finished militarily, pretty much. But we, you know, David, we are...
Can pause it right there. By the way, what a beautiful analysis. But one thing most people don't know is I think Norway's got $7 trillion of oil reserves. That's their money that they're counting on long term. Can you verify that? Is it a total $7? But what is the dollar to dollar amount? Like if you do it in dollars,
$7 billion.
$7. What is a dollar reserves? Yeah, there you go.
Jeez.
6.9 billion barrels for a total of $2.2 trillion. So to Norway long term, they're like, look, all this shit happens, all this stuff. The way we're going to be protected is we got all this oil. So he's going through them. Tom, why is this such an important story with what's going on in UK?
I'll tell you why it's important. Because did you know that the Prime Minister, there's no term limits in the UK? Absolutely no term limits. And
like a
there's
king.
also no like forced election. There is a date. They must have a next election not later than I think it's August 15th of 2029. 3 years from now. So the big thing here is he doesn't have to leave, but generally what happens in the UK, Pat, is you get together, you say, look, my party lost, we need to make a no coalition government, so you all vote for the new coalition government and you have a new prime minister. Well, if the Labour Party has a vote of no confidence, then Starmer has to leave. But technically, Pat, he could just stay there and be stubborn and not call an election and be there until August of 2029. And so that's what's going on. He could voluntarily resign and say, look, my party lost this election. We lost a lot of seats. Clearly, the people of the UK want this. I'm going to step down the majority party here. We're going to elect the prime minister here. But unless Parliament as a whole, Pat, votes no confidence, 51% votes confidence, or his Labour Party says, hey, we can't do this, and those would be patriots that say, hey, look, for the good of the UK, we just lost all these seats. We can't continue. We can't just stubbornly stay here. So I think it's very important. And what Trump said, I think, is correct. Whoever the leader of the UK is, Trump just outlined what the people of the UK need. They need energy, they need safety, and they need immigration reform.
Adam.
Go ahead, Vinny. I'm just pulling one thing
Well,
up.
just Pat, I mean, like, just go down the resume of Keir Starmer. Just go down, and I know that you said you wanted to show something with Pat. The amount of people that these guys arrest for just saying things online.
Can you pull up that tweet, Rob? This is important on what you just brought up. Go to my Twitter account. This is something very important. And Vinny, I'm going to stay on you, but I just want to show this because go a little bit lower. That chart right there, look at this. Look at this.
That is
countries with most arrests for online comments. Number one, UK, 12,183. Belarus, 6,205. Germany, 3,500. China, 1,500. UK is more than China. Of course, if you trust China's data, what they report. Then it's Turkey, 500. Russia, and we're at 50. I want to know what those 50 were that got arrested here. But UK, 12,183 arrests for online comments. Vinny, continue, please.
And it's so add that to like let's just be honest. The immigration that you have, the purposeful invasion, he wants to call it immigration. The people have had enough. God bless every single person that took to the streets. I think it's a little bit late. I'm so happy that they did it. One of the main things, Pat, that people were saying was that he let in all these people. And then when these same people are raping the women, the children of freaking UK, it's no, you guys are racist. Don't talk about it as racist. Oh, the Pakistani rape gangs, that's the title of these people. We're not going to proceed to press charges and go after them because we don't want to look racist as a nation. Really? Try saying that to the mother or the father of the daughter that was raped by these Pakistani rape gangs that you let into the freaking country. And then you have people like Tommy Robinson screaming at the rooftops, he's racist. He's racist. You have Piers on the show when he's holding up the Quran. He's like saying, this is the type of stuff that's in the Quran. Put that book down. You're racist. Enough, okay? It's gotten to the point, and there's only so much that people are going to take that they're going to do it. Good for him. He's not a leader. He's a weak leader with all the freaking consequences, Pat, and I'm happy that he's done. Hopefully, they don't choose a guy that's just like him.
And by the way, you know who else was there at Tommy Robinson's rally? Nick Shirley.
I love that.
Nick Shirley was there. Elon Musk jumped on again. It was just back at it again. Adam, thoughts?
Yeah, I was actually just texting with Nick because I wanted to get a comment from him, and I'll tell you what he said. But Tommy Robinson put this incredible event together. Nate Friedman, who does a lot of street interviews, just like Nick Shirley, we've covered him before, he's in New York. This was my favorite sign. Stop calling people racist when they don't agree with you is getting boring. The racist thing, the fascist thing, Trump's a king thing, it's just getting boring. We've heard it before. What Keir Starmer said, what I think people are so upset about is, and this is what Nick Shirley had to say, is they keep referring to the people that show up to this rally as far right. There's the far right, they're the far right. Here's what Nick Shirley said, and this is essentially what they're saying. He goes, these people are not far right. He's like, I interviewed all types of people, black, white, men, women. They just want their country back, and there's 3 basic premises. He said, stop it with the open borders and the immigration. Can we please stop this? Trump talked about that. Talked about censorship and free speech, basically what you just pointed out, right? Just like that. And they talked about the climate change and the global warming and the scam that basically has taken over and not basically doing drill, baby, drill. And what did Trump say? Does drill where? In the North Sea, I believe he called it. But at the end of the day, when you're calling the everyday British citizen far right just because they love their country and they want to fly their flag patriotically, it just is getting boring. And the average person, I would hope, is looking at this being like, I just want to live in my country and enjoy my heritage and my legacy. And you guys are trying to ruin it. So shout out to everybody. And shout out to Tommy for putting this event together.
What do you think, Pat?
What do I think about this?
What cares? What do you like?
Well, to me, the question is the following. The question is, when you don't pay attention to your kids' friends and you kind of let them loose, and they all of a sudden, I remember this one kid, we were at Wilson Junior High School, and this one guy, I told this story when I went to school last week, and there was this one guy who comes up and he offers cigarettes to us.
Who's this?
In school, Wilson Junior High School. Okay. I'm 13 years old.
Okay.
And one of my good friends was there, and he says yes. Then after that, it led to alcohol. Then after that, it led to weed, which is, so far, that process
normal.
is very usual.
Yeah.
We know a lot of friends that
Gateway.
went from cigarettes to alcohol to weed or alcohol, cigarettes, weed. Yeah. What comes after weed?
Cocaine.
Cocaine normally comes after weed. Maybe speed, maybe Special K, maybe LSD, but usually coke is right up there as what's next, right? And then what typically comes after coke?
Sometimes meth and then smoking it.
Sometimes meth and then smoking it, but then sometimes you go to the club, you're doing G, you're doing the caps of G, and then you got K, and then you get into the pills. Then you're in the pill game. Then you got Xanax, then you got Vicodin, and then you got all this other stuff, and then you're dead. Okay? And if you don't get there early, it's too late. You know what is one of the hardest drugs to get off of? 2 of the hardest drugs to get off of.
Alcohol?
No. Alcohol is one of them to get off of. But it's normally pain medication when you're talking about like Vicodin and stuff like that because it's like heroin.
Opioid-based.
Opioid-based. It's hard to get off of it because your body's like begging for it. Give it to me. UK right now is, I don't want to say this, point of no return, but they're at a place that you almost need a massive crisis that's already happened to happen for them to not go there. And by the way, Vinny, you know what's crazy? As we talk about New York City with Mamdani and what's going on there, what is the previous financial capital of the world before New York City? New York City's been financial capital of the world for 100 plus years.
Yeah.
You know who was prior to that? London.
Yeah.
You know for how long? 100 years.
Yeah.
Give or take. Okay? So if we don't pay attention to what's going on there, it's about to happen here. And by the way, say even all these people leave New York State. The billionaires leave, and they come here. The millionaires leave, and they come to states like Florida, Texas, Tennessee, all that other stuff. But they're still a state. They're one of the 50 states.
Yeah.
And it's going to spread. You don't think they're going to say, let's do it to the other city. You don't think behind closed doors they make targets and they say, let's go target them. AOC gave a talk yesterday, which was disturbing to me. I'll typically listen to AOC. I'm like, okay, some of socialism, all this stuff. I totally get that's economical. But look at this speech. This is a very weird speech that she gave yesterday.
Was
go
it
ahead,
behind the
Rob.
bulletproof glass?
Yes, go ahead, Rob.
What did she say?
Time for the North to pull up to the South. It is time for New York to pull up to Alabama. It is time for all of us to come to
This is a
Georgia, to
disturbing
Louisiana,
message.
to Tennessee, to Mississippi, and
What is
let
she
them
really
know
trying to say?
exactly what they have uncorked with this injustice. They think they can draw us out of power.
By the way,
they do
FYI.
not know the sleeping giant that they just awakened. Because it is not a coincidence, and our whole country must understand that it was not until voting rights were ratified in this country that we got the Great Society.
Is she reading a
Because
teleprompter?
when black
Doesn't look like
Americans
it.
No.
have the right to
You know
vote
what
and
that
that vote
means?
is protected, our schools get funded. when voting rights are
Okay, you can pause it right there.
She's got strategists, she's got coaches, and she's
Time
learning.
for the North to pull up to the South.
You talk about civil war?
No, I didn't interpret it like that.
To me, a message like that, period, means what? It means, well, what was North and South about?
Yeah.
Well, that was. Well, I didn't.
Well, that's
How are you
How
interpreting?
do you interpret?
Yeah,
what
how
she's
do you
saying
not
right
take it the way that I said? What is she calling for?
I'm not endorsing AOC at all. It seems to me she's talking about redistricting and gerrymandering and sort of playing the game of politics. Look, what AOC and the current Democratic Socialist Party want to do, they want to fundamentally change America. Fundamentally. They don't believe in what the founding fathers believed in. They don't believe in everything that was in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, but
they want to fundamentally change everything.
Yeah,
and they
but
want to use the victim game.
You took
the blame game.
from that
to
message?
you?
I don't.
Yeah,
How do you take
You're
that
taking it as
message
she
down?
wants to do a civil war?
I'm not saying she's saying civil war. You just have to be careful with your words. That is a division of America on her messaging. No part of that message to me is a message of. So again, you just have to pay attention. You asked me a question about UK, where it's at. You asked me about London, previous financial. Then it comes to New York. Where is AOC out of? What borough is she out of?
She's in Brooklyn.
She's in Brooklyn. Okay, New York City. So now her and Mamdani are from where? New York City. What type of noise are they making in the current financial capital of the world? So it's a slippery slope that Americans, I hope, pay attention. By the way, this is a part of why we do what we do here. People ask me, "Can I ask you a question? You have all this money in the world. Why do you sell merch?" We have to fund the company. If I fund it based on the money that I have, we run out of money, and you need to be a part of it as well. If you support media company, the other guys are making money. I can take sponsorship money and just every other thing is an ad. Then we want to be able to share what's on our mind because we are concerned about X, Y, Z being the issue long term. This is one of them. The fight's going to be a collective effort of realizing, watch what's going to UK. That's a case study of what's coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what's going on with these other kids. Then you're teaching your kids. This could happen to you if you make some bad decisions. Do you remember this Saturday night we went to dinner to drive back?
Yes, amazing.
How intense was that?
Very. You know it's intense when the ride is over and we're still in the car for 20 minutes. At the end of the ride, we don't get out of the car.
The messaging, the conversation.
Absolutely.
How many of those has happened when we're coming back with the boys?
A few.
A few of them.
Yes.
This was a different one, though.
This was a very, very good one because now they're at a different stage of their life. Now it's like 14. You know what I mean? Like 12 years. Like it's getting there.
Did he talk to you about it yesterday or no? When you guys were out? Did it come up at all or no?
No,
Okay.
it was other conversations, but not like
But
that.
to me, it's just realizing that if you're not look, I'm a future looks bright guy, but only the paranoid survive is a mentality you got to have. Americans got to be a little bit more paranoid right now. You got to be a little bit less tolerant of BS in your life when you just kind of sit around and say, that's not a big deal. It's going to be okay. Let me continue with this as we're going to the next story. Over the weekend, Iran hits UAE's only sole nuclear power plant that they have, Iran. It's so bad while this happened that the president, I believe, was golfing in Virginia at one of his golf courses. Rob, if I'm not mistaken, you could correct me on this. He's at Virginia golfing. This takes place. He has a 30-minute call with Netanyahu. There's a bunch of calls taking place. And I even believe today there's a meeting that they're going to have in the Situation Room, and tomorrow something could happen with the whole thing. Rob, is this the clip about what happened at the nuclear plant? Is this the one?
Yes, this is a report of the phone call between Netanyahu and Trump regarding that story.
Go for it. Go for it.
It's true to say that the air of expectancy has been cranked up a couple of notches here in Israel today. As you mentioned, President Trump talking with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier this evening. They reportedly talked for about 30 minutes, and then shortly after that, President Trump taking to social media to tell Iran that, yep, time is running out. Time is of the essence, he said. But with a stalemate still in place, Netanyahu holding a security cabinet meeting tonight with top military leaders and advisors to discuss the next move. All of this coming as reports claim the U.S. and Israel are making intense preparations for renewed attacks against Iran. The Iranian foreign minister, meantime, says another attack makes no sense if the U.S. and Israeli military have already, as they claim, destroyed the country's nuclear facilities. Listen to this.
It's almost like he's egging them on.
These contradictory statements truly indicate the depth of America's confusion regarding their objectives in this war.
By the way.
So Iranian state TV also has been showing video today of government supporters, some receiving defense training inside of mosques, weapons and all.
Yeah, because that's a normal thing that happens when I go to church on Sundays. My
Exactly.
kids
I
are
get
learning about
bazooka
how to
training
handle
right before
bazooka
the
and
song.
AK-47.
We had grenade tossing
did you
after
at
choir.
That's Catholic church.
Catholic
That's different,
church, yeah.
because that's
Humberto was there.
Yeah. So
Remember, don't do step 7 indoors. Wait till you're outside.
So when you see this, Tom, where are you at with something taking place? For Iran, the clock is ticking, and they better get moving fast, or there won't be anything left of them. Time is of the essence. I think these tweets, honestly, are no longer having any impact. These tweets here. And you know what they said yesterday? It's as if they're watching a podcast. You know what they said yesterday? They said Trump's day to get this thing done is June 14th. Did you hear about this?
No, that's his birthday, isn't it?
He says exactly. He says they have to get it done before his birthday and the World Cup. We know that's when he has to get it done.
Weird.
So it's because you better believe that. I mean, we know of each other, like the community. We're in communication with them for, well, we're not ready to talk to you right now. We're not ready to do podcasts right now. But what's the reality of it is they're kind of getting aware of how much time Trump has, and they're using that against him. So what's my point? My point is, if you're going to do something, stop dragging it out to the World Cup. If you're going to do it now. If you're not going to do it, they're not going to negotiate with you. And the president, when he went to China, you know what he did say? He says, we don't need China's help. I don't know if you saw that or not, Tom. He says, we don't need China's help. If he wants to help, great, but we don't need China's help. Xi asked him allegedly, Rob, fact check me on this. Xi asked him allegedly, let me know if there's anything we can help you out with on Iran's end.
Oh, really?
Let me know if there's anything we can help you out with on Iran's end, because we would like the Hormuz to open up. It's better for the world. Xi's words. Xi's words saying something like that. So, Tom, why is this so important? Can this escalate? Do you think these tweets of saying this is the last chance you're going to get is getting old? Yeah, there you go. Report said that Xi offered help, and during the conflict, Trump said Xi told him, if I can be of help, I would like to help. However, the reporting suggested Xi's offering diplomatic assistance, discussions about reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Go ahead, Tom.
So, there's only so many times that you can make a tweet like this. It does appear that the Iranians are just trying to wait this out now. And we hear stories about, a week ago we're on one piece of paper and we have 14 items. And then one side rejects 7, the other side rejects 8, and we didn't get anywhere. So right now, and then we heard over the weekend that Trump said that China pledged not to sell weapons to Iran. Well, you got to be careful with those words. Are they not selling finished weapons, but they're still shipping tons of sodium perchlorate, which is the salt? It's a salt product, which is the basis for rocket fuel that they use in the rockets. Are they still doing that? So I don't know. But I don't see these things. I don't feel tension anymore, Pat. And also, we were watching the markets, the financial markets in London and the U.S., the FTSE. All of them were moving on these comments. Now you don't see the markets moving as volatilely. Remember, you would have one comment and the market would go, whoom. Yep. And there's that one day we had oil all the way back down to, help me if I'm wrong, I think it was all the way back down to like 92. So, and where's oil right now? 105 or something like that right this morning, as I saw. I'll tell you right now, 105.24 West Texas Intermediate was the open. And
West Texas, Rob.
And
is this the West Texas?
Yep. No, I'm showing.
You're right.
I'm showing that's crude futures. That's a NYMEX, but West Texas U.S. oil is still at 106.
Oh, you
there
go,
it is.
105.88.
Yep. So there you go.
It is a bump, though, Tom. 106 is a bump. You don't think that's a bump?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's up today. It's
and
down $2. It's up.
Did you see the clip? Did you see the clip where the president's being asked about? Yeah, they showed me the new ask in the first sentence. I said, no, I don't want to read the rest.
First
and,
word,
I'm not a first word. What was the first words? I don't need to tell you. I just wasn't happy about it. So they said you're not happy about the 20 years. And he says, no, I'll do with the 20 years, but I don't like the first words, what they said. So they are going back and forth. At what pace, I don't know. I just know that he has, when you're negotiating, Vinny, you have a number in your mind. where for him, do you think the president has a day? You think he's a calendar type of guy? I think he is. Do you think he has a day that says, if by this day they do nothing, we're attacking? Do you think he has a day?
I think so.
I think he has a day.
Mhm.
I think he has a day or an event. And I even think he knows where to attack and what to attack. Remember, Carrick Island, they hit a few different things, but they didn't hit what they could have hit to hurt everybody.
They stopped.
They haven't hit bridges. They haven't been going after, like, they hit one bridge in Karaj. If you remember that one Karaj bridge that they built, that newest Karaj bridge that they hit. So they've hit a few different spots, but he's hold off a little bit. Is this it about the first sentence, Rob?
Yes.
Go for it.
It was a very historic couple of days, I think. Million days.
Sir, I know there'll be a lot of questions around the China trip, but just first on Iran, have you rejected the latest proposal from Iran, or where does that stand?
Well, I looked at it, and if I don't like the first sentence, I just throw it away.
What was the first sentence?
An unacceptable sentence. Because they have fully agreed, no nuclear, and if they have any nuclear of any form, I don't read the rest of it.
20 years is...
That was a very historic...
There you go. So, Adam, your thoughts on this?
Well, you made a reference earlier. Now, there's a book that I think that the IRGC and the Ayatollahs could read, and that's called How to Win Friends and Influence People, because they're losing it one by one by one. You started the story saying, who did Iran attack now? The UAE.
UAE.
So they're attacking their neighbor.
sole nuclear plant, a drone.
So, listen, I agree with you on one thing, and I disagree with you on one thing. I fully agree with you. Trump has a date of when he's going to get in and get out by. I don't think it's June 14th. I have it a little bit closer to August, because that's 3 months before midterms. August, September, October. That's kind of my number. But there is a number. However, if you just take Trump at his word, what is the one thing that he's been getting criticism of this past week? The Democrats were saying this on Meet the Press. Trump said, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about anything other than Iran will not have nuclear. Oh, what about Americans and gas prices and the economy? Yeah, it's not my main concern. Iran will not have nuclear. Have you seen this reaction?
Yes.
So let's just take Trump at his word. He's not messing around with the nuclear. So at the end of the day, I mean, here's what Rubio had to say in terms of waiting Trump out. So if you want to take Rubio at his word, he goes, number one, unequivocally, we're doing the world a favor with what we're doing. They honestly believe that. So let's take them at their word. But then Rubio said, we're not going to let domestic politics get in the way and have us pressure us to make a bad deal on Iran. We're not. AKA, you may have to pay a little bit more at the pump right now. We're not going to put a bad deal together from domestic issues and gas prices. So he also said to China, yeah, we're not asking for China's help at all here, because China is basically feeling the pressure on the Strait of Hormuz more than anybody. But at the end of the day, Pat, you mentioned this as well. I think the trump card at the end of the day, if Iran does not come to the table and negotiate, they're going to blow up Karg Island. They have that card, and they're basically saying,
I wouldn't blow up Karg Island. I would take over Karg Island.
Whatever they end up doing.
Blowing up Karg Island. You take it over. You go and just say, we're going to take this thing over. And
even better.
If the Gulf states support you, and this is the way you do it. You know how you do it? You go in there and you say, hey, Gulf states, let's do partnership, 50-50. I'll put a military base there. I take 50% of revenue. I share the rest with you guys. Anybody comes through, $2 million, but we share it. Gulf states are going to be like, okay, great. And then if Iran wants to participate, guess what? You can come in as well, but I'm building a military base. I'm taking control of Karg Island. This won't be the first time or the second time we've done this. Every time there's a war, the average person who is not following that story learns about history, and you learn about different areas. You know, you learn about, oh my God, Panama Canal, why is it so important? Oh shoot, I got it. Oh my God. China, why is it so important? Kind of the AC, all the stuff that we read. Oh my God, why is Taiwan so important? Well, all these chips, NVIDIA, TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Oh my God, why is Malacca Strait? Why is Strait? Why is You're learning about what's going on. We're learning how important this thing is.
Yeah.
And we'll see where that goes. So, Tom, did you give your thoughts on this? You already did, right? You gave your thoughts on this. Let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get to is climate change. Folks, I don't know if you've noticed, it's deeply concerning for folks like Al Gore, AOC, and Greta Thunberg that the climate changes. It goes up, it goes down, it gets colder, it gets warmer.
Oh, no.
But something bad happened to the climate change enthusiasts this weekend. Trump celebrates UN's climate committee moves away from the most extreme global warming scenario. President Trump took a victory lap on Saturday with this tweet. Good riddance after 15 years of Democrats promising that climate change is going to destroy the planet. The United Nations top climate committee just admitted that its projections, its own projections of RCP 8.5 were wrong. For far too long, climate activism has been used by Democrats to scare Americans, push horrible energy policies, and fund billions into the bogus research programs. Unlike the Democrats who use climate alarmism nonsense to push their Green New scam, my administration will always be based on truth, science, and facts. The United Nations-backed Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change had quietly adjusted its modeling framework. A 4 to 5 degrees Celsius warming by 2100 last month. The framework had underpinned a myriad of other analysis predicting terrifying consequences for greenhouse gas emissions, and they are getting this wrong. Tom, how big of a deal is this?
This is huge, but this is really kind of like it's kind of like COVID. It's like, all right, all the evidence now points to the fact that the virus was in a lab in Wuhan. The virus was released from the lab in Wuhan, either deliberately or accidentally, and then it spread around the world thanks to air travel and migration of people, and that's what happened, and a bunch of people died. So we all know this. We all know that to be true, and we could debate over how much did Fauci know, when did he know, when he didn't. He was involved, and he knew a hell of a lot. We can all debate that, but we now know it's true. Similarly, Pat, we've been debating this for a while on climate change. And, I tweeted a week ago, it was, we're all dead, so I know that no one can be reading this tweet. And I tweeted the note about that by this date in the future, we were all supposed to be dead because of climate change and the oceans, flooded everything and we're gone. And I said, being that we're all dead, no one's going to be reading this tweet. And so now this is very significant. Now they're actually having to pull back. But what you remember, climate change never had anything to do with climate. This is what climate change had to do with. Had to do with control, globalization, and wealth redistribution. And that's why they're like, well, wait a minute, I have an idea, Vinny. To pay for your sins, the Catholic Church used to have indulgence. You can pay for your sins.
Oh.
I have an idea. Why don't we do this? Carbon credits. You can pay for your pollution. That'll make the world not as warm because you'll give him money in terms of carbon credits because you're doing too much. He'll give you money. And look, we're making money for you. Wait a minute. But if it's doing that because they're polluting anyway, then they're just moving money around. It has nothing to do with the climate change. Oh, we'll get back to it. But it was always control, and it was wealth redistribution, and it was phobia, and it was globalism. And now it's out in the ocean. It's out there like the ocean, so big you can't ignore it, and there it is in the light of day, Pat. They can't deny it. All of their dates have come and gone, things have happened, and it's all been disproven. So now it's just like COVID, Pat.
Nope.
You're at a point where you can't run from it anymore.
Vinny.
So wait, you mean to Thomas? Just so I'm, because it's it's kind of early when we got in here. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Are you trying to tell me that this is another Democrat lie, fraud, scam? Do not tell me that's what you're telling me.
It's bigger than that. It's global liberals.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's global liberals.
Well, Tom, they kept pushing this. By the way, it's the fear. You called it, Pat, the fear porn, the doomsday model. It's going to end.
You were taught climate change in school.
Yeah.
It's called seasons.
Yeah, the four. Summer's here. Oh, my God, the climate change. But I think it's and I'm happy that, the president brought it up. I mean, politicians to activists to Greta Thunberg. Think about it. Greta Thunberg, the one that was crying, they grabbed that girl, they put her as a poster child, literally, and she's like, ecosystems are collapsing, and people emotionally get attached. And then what happened to her? She knows that she was completely exposed, and she jumps from that to a completely different cause. She's on a flotilla, getting captured by...
I'm going to chain myself to a truck stopped in the middle of a highway.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody can... they're hoping that people's emotions get people attached to it. But Tom, you see it. How many times you see it? AOC complaining about the world ending, like you said. Bernie Sanders saying that the world's gonna end. Al Gore and Pat. If we can, do you remember Dan Pena, who was asked by an Australian woman? She's like, "What's the global warming and everything's gonna come?" Can we play this?
You can play.
Yeah, Rob, play this at a little bit fast speed.
Going to do when our ocean level rises?
Thank you for asking that question. I have the answer, though. I have the answer. Well, thank you for the question. Yeah. Okay.
For the first time on Earth, we're changing the gas.
Now you're full of shit. Sit down. I'm going to answer you. If that were really true, which you believe, and let's just for a moment say that it is true. That means that the best scenario vis-a-vis global warming is about 10 feet raising water. That's the best scenario over the next 40, 50 years. That's the best scenario. If the water on the planet is going to rise up 10 feet, that means the southern part of the United States is gone. England is gone. Most of Europe is gone. And I can go, most of Central America is gone. Let's just take Florida, for example, which is one of the fastest growing beachfront condominiums on the planet. In the prospectus, when you invest, there should be, in the footnotes, if global warming is for real and water rises 10 feet, this investment you made is fuck all. Not one single investment prospectus written this century has alluded to global warming. Not one motherfucker. If it were really true, the banks wouldn't invest. The banks wouldn't finance. Not one motherfucking condominium. And I'm jealous of the vice president.
He's jealous because Al Gore. So my question to you, Pat, property owners, is that true in the prospectus? They would say, don't give Patrick Bet-David X amount of money because we know that it's going to flood in an X amount of years.
Vinny, I don't worry about the prospectuses. Pat and I know. I only worry about the underwriting and the insurance carriers because they don't lose money.
So that's what I'm saying.
They're the house. The house doesn't lose.
So so what he's saying is true in that if that was the case, all this fear porn, then why would a bank give you money if they knew in 10 years and 20 years you're not going to have a house and that's all going to be underwater?
Adam was talking about South Park earlier. He made a reference to it. And South Park also went after Al Gore. Do you remember Man, Bear, Pig?
Of course.
Half man, half bear, half pig. Man, bear, pig is coming. And the little kids came up to him and said, "You're just making all this crap up so that everybody can get really scared and then give you a bunch of money. You are full of crap." That's what the little third graders come up to him and tell him. And this was Al Gore trying to scare the world about Man, Bear, Pig. And it was so true. You've created this thing that it was just complete BS.
Well, you name it, Tommy, and the fact that they say the climate solution always involves government more power while Americans have to pay more for gas,
carbon credits,
and
give
food.
money to those people, and you're fine.
It's and I'm so happy. And again, you said these bad ideas at some point it gets flushed out. People wake up and they go, "Okay, you're lying." And speaking of Massie would even expose John Kerry in front of Congress, which was awesome. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Adam.
Well, Trump was right again. You know the whole famous quote, "Trump was right about everything." Here's another one that he can put in a feather in his cap. I remember when he did the UN speech, and I said, sort of controversial, I said, that might have been the most important speech that he's ever given.
Was it the climate?
The UN speech.
Yeah.
He basically highlighted 3 things that are all manifesting. This is happening. He said the climate change is a scam.
Yep.
And they just verified it based on this report.
Yep.
Number 2, the UK, France, EU, the open border policy, you're ruining your country.
Yep. 2 for 2.
Okay, 2 for 2. And the energy, drill, baby, drill, oil is going to run the world 3 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my advice to everyone out there. And I'm just going to simplify this. You could follow Trump as an archetype, or you could follow Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg, much like Trump has been right about everything, she hasn't been right about anything. Nothing this girl has said or ever done has been right. Nothing that she's advocated has been right. And then she was sort of like put on a pedestal when she's 12 years old because she's like, I care about the climate and the globe. Everyone's like, oh my God, Greta.
Yeah.
But by the way, she's 23 now. Did they want to talk about the fact that she's like weird and autistic and she doesn't know what she's talking about and she's socialist and a globalist and she's a free Palestine? I mean, that's what she is.
Who's this guy?
No, that's Greta, sir. That's Greta, sir. Yeah, that's her. That's her now.
Are you joking?
Yeah, that's
That's
her.
Greta Thunberg.
So here's my suggestion, everybody, since she's been wrong on everything.
Seriously, this is
him. This is her.
A girl with bangs. She bangs. That's her.
That's her now.
Greta Tintin.
By the way,
her name is Tintin.
I seriously thought it was a guy like
No, that's her. Rob, I sent you something. Do you remember there was a movie back in the day
for someone to cut your hair
called Kingpin with Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
And they gave up. They made a quote where it's like, He said, "You got Munsoned."
Yeah.
He's like, "What? What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, when something doesn't go your way, you get
Munsoned.
screwed.
Yeah.
You get Munsoned."
Yeah.
So I want to advocate to all my friends out there, even the Gen Z folk that fell for this scam. From now on, when something just goes blatantly not your way, you got Thunberg.
Thunberg.
You got Thunberg.
Go to the next.
There it is.
She's from Sweden?
Yes.
She's,
She got Munsoned.
I'm looking at this website with Swedish bikini models. She's not there.
I don't want to. I'm not going to come to everybody on this one, but I just want to show this here. That's very interesting because you have to pay very close attention to what kids are doing. 11 years ago, 10 years ago, when Snapchat came out, I was in Hawaii sitting next to a girl named Phoebe, who was Kahindi's daughter. She's now a model. She's doing great things. She told me about Snapchat, and I kept asking, what are kids following in school? Tell me about what social media kids are doing, all this other stuff. Eric Schmidt is giving a speech, commencement speech, and I don't know if I've heard this type of boo when he starts praising AI. It's worse than what the other lady did last week. Go ahead, Rob.
Context of artificial intelligence. Interesting.
Is this Arizona State?
You will help shape artificial intelligence. We do not know. We do not know the precise contours. If you'd let me make this point, please.
No. Oh my God. That's horrible.
If you don't care about science, that's okay, because AI is going to touch everything else as well. Whatever path you choose, AI
Read the room, buddy.
Work is done. You can now assemble a team of AI agents to help you with the parts that you could never accomplish on your own. When someone offers you a seat on the rocket ship, you do not ask which seat. You just get on. The rocket ship is here.
Do you think he
Let me give you some advice.
Absolutely not.
I mean, you have to know this is one of the worst
Oh my God. I couldn't. I didn't
boos
see it.
I've heard. And by the way, I just went online right now. I said, what are the top 10 worst university commencement speeches that got the most boos ever? It showed to me that Betsy DeVos was one of them at Bethune-Cookman University. And this is in 2017.
Okay.
So you have to know, this is right after Trump. Okay.
That was down here.
Yeah, that was down here. Then you have another one that was Harrison Butker. I don't remember him getting booed, actually. I actually remember him getting a lot of support. Then it was Gloria Caulfield in University of Central Florida. And this, by the way, 2 out of the top 4 most boos are in the last week. Gloria Caulfield was the one that we showed last week, again for AI. Then it goes to Jerry Seinfeld, 2024. Dozens of students walked up protesting the pro-Israel stand. That was that. Claire Shipman, Columbia. You have to pay attention to what upsets them, right? Her speech was overrun by chants, boos, and again, pro-Palestinian boos. Jonathan Haidt, 2026, known for criticizing Gen Z and smartphone culture, booed him on stage, organized protests before the ceremony, accused NYU of platforming someone hostile to students. Condoleezza Rice, 2014, about the Iraq War. Mike Pence had one that people walked out, and an RFK regarding vaccines. So Tom, what are kids worried about when they're talking about? The way I interpret it is they're trying to say, you're taking our jobs away. You're taking our futures away. Rob, do you have the clip of what Anthropic said AI is going to do to unemployment? Anthropic's CEO, you won't have it here. While I'm going to Tom, I'll look for it and I'll send it to you. I didn't post it in my notes. So, Tom, why is this becoming a pattern of kids booing the topic of AI?
2 things are happening with people that are graduating right now. Number one, they're trying to find jobs. And the economy is tightening on the hiring. There are some segments that are still doing well, but there's tightening. There's also layoffs happening at Meta. A lot of layoffs are going to be clarified this week. Meta's going to clarify who's in, who's out, Vinny. So if you're at Meta right now, you're waiting for that. And these kids are seeing that. And they're like, well, where the hell am I going to go work? Now, Arizona State is not like Stanford. God bless, this is University of Arizona. The University of Arizona is not like Stanford. God bless University of Arizona. They are ranked the number 127th school in America and the number 63 public school. So, Pat, this is a decidedly mid-tier school. But why is Eric Schmidt there? Of all the places he could go speak, I'll tell you why. Because they are number 1 and number 2 in MIS. University of Arizona is ranked number 1 or number 2 in the United States among public colleges, or number 1, among national universities, or number 2. So this is a college, Pat, that has a lot of kids in that audience that are in MIS, that are going to be graduating. Hey, we're going to hear Eric Schmidt speak. Hey, that's pretty cool. We've got a great program here. Yeah. And somehow the Board of Regents has got Eric Schmidt to come speak at a graduation. But what's on these kids' mind is jobs. And what they're hearing is that AI is going to take your jobs, and they're hearing about a lot of layoffs going on in tech, Pat. And so this guy comes up, starts talking about AI. They immediately boo it. He doesn't really read the room. I'd love to ask Eric this. Maybe you could sit down with us and talk, because it's like, what did you hear and what were you sensing when you turned around and said, well, that's the future and this is science, because they were really going after him pretty hard. But that's what I think, Pat. I think these kids have heard a lot, and they're nervous, and they're out there trying to find jobs. And here comes this guy talking about the very thing that they're nervous about.
I think you have to be aware of it. And I think it's different than political. This is not Palestine, free Palestine. This is not the Iraq-Iran war, the Iraq war with Condoleezza Rice. This is their careers. This is their money. And here's what Anthropic CEO had to say. Go ahead, Rob, about what AI is going to do with unemployment. Watch this, folks.
View is the signature of this technology is it's going to take us to a world where we have very high GDP growth and potentially also very high unemployment and inequality. Now, that's not a combination we've almost ever seen before, right? You think of it as high GDP growth, that's lots of stuff to do, lots of jobs for everyone. It's always been like that in the past. We've never had a technology that's this disruptive. So the idea that we could have 5 or 10% GDP growth, but also, 10% unemployment, it's not logically inconsistent at all. It's just never happened that way before. And I'm really quite, for those both reasons, excited and worried. If I take an example, something like AI coding, the latest model we released, Claude Opus 4.5, I have some engineers, some engineering leads within Anthropic who have basically said to me, I don't write any code anymore. I just let Opus do the work and I edit it. We just released a new thing called...
Pause this real quick. Rob, last Friday, you know who we just hired? Our most recent engineer, probably the most qualified engineer we've ever hired. Would you agree with that?
I would, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm sitting in his office last Friday before the weekend comes. And we're launching Hiermetrics, a calibration software that's going to be revolutionary. Yeah, it's going to be great. And he's shown me, so we're testing one part of it. And he says, okay, they find a mistake in it. I said, so what are you going to do? He says, this is all I do. He took the entire code, the answer, put it in Claude, and he gave him a prompt, go fix this to make it cleaner. 1 minute and 59 seconds later, he fixed it, took it, code went in there. This is a coder. He says, as good of a coder as guys like this are, you're not going to be as fast as what that's going to be doing for you. So that does now the job of 5, 10 engineers like this, where it's going. Some are saying it does the job of 2 or 3. Some are saying it does the job of 5 or 10. It's just going to get smarter.
Of course.
So these kids are sitting there saying, hey, man, I know you guys are celebrating this. So the argument becomes, on one end, it's like, yeah, we have to beat China. Okay. Do we beat China at the cost of all our kids losing jobs? I don't know. And that's the argument that's got to be made. And that's what, when last week Tucker had Kevin O'Leary on and they're going back and forth, it's a fair question to be asking. Do you do it at the cost of kids not having jobs? Kids are telling you they're worried about it. You have to pay attention, at least hear them out and see. When the Anthropic CEO says unemployment could go to 10 and GDP could go high, it's something to be paying attention to. Yeah. Let me get to this next story and then we'll wrap up. Rob, if you want to pull up, I wish we could go into the Neymar story. Let me get into the Rogan Theo Von. So Theo Von is on Rogan's podcast, and he talks about the SSRIs.
Yeah,
SSRIs. I think this is it, where he's talking about he's been on them for almost 20 years. Rob, if you want to play this clip, go for it.
All
all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel, and they're using it to fucking genocide
No, Rob,
people.
this
It's
is
like,
not it. This is when he says he's been taking medication since the breakup, Rob. This clip has nothing to do with the other. Did you find that one or no?
I couldn't. That's the clip that it kept showing me
No, so
as to what started the conversation about his mental health.
But does he say there about him being on medication for...
No, Joe just says something like, hey, man, like he makes a comment on like how he's...
No, that's not the clip. That's not the clip.
Oh, I know
Because to me, this is it. Go ahead.
Is to get off of antidepressants completely, man. I want to feel how I'm supposed to feel so I can have thoughts and actions that like make me feel connected to the world. That shit makes you feel dead, man.
So why did you take them in the first place?
This is it.
Because I was in a bad relationship 20 years ago and I was having a tough day at school, and they gave them to me, and then I never got off.
Really?
Because when you get off, I think we talked about this once, it's hard.
Yeah, it makes you more depressed, and more fucked up, and you're all imbalanced, and you're probably addicted to them.
Yeah. Like
So
one of my
this
goals.
is it. So this, and by the way, this is a lot of people that are on this. Then Joe talks about it on one of the clips. That clip right there, if you can go to it. Yeah, I think this is the one. Go forward.
Theo Vaughn's going through the exact same thing. And last time he was on the podcast, he was explaining it to me. And it freaks me out because I know Theo has had conversations before, like even publicly. He had a Netflix taping, and it didn't go well. It was like they actually they shelved it. They never used it. And there was all these stories from people that were there saying he bombed. I think he just had kind of a breakdown. And when he was talking to the crowd, and there's a video of it, we said, the people were shaking. Hey, we still love you. He goes, thank you. Look, I'm trying not to take my own life. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Yeah. And like, you hear stuff like that, and you just go like, oh, Jesus Christ. I've known too many people that I didn't think were going to kill themselves and then did. And then he goes down these spirals where he starts talking about world events and freaking out. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I got to help this dude. And so I send him things about people getting off of them, and apparently there's some doctors that specialize in getting people off of them. But
Joe is, you can pause it right there. Joe is talking about what Theo's going through. Then Theo responds back to this. And here's what Theo has to say. You just had it a minute ago, Rob, that you had it up. Yeah, on the one with Theo reacting. And he says, this is mostly cap. Sad to see this kind of stuff. I'm doing great. I'm a human being, which is rocky ride, but I'm doing fine, thanks. Vinny, how do you, this story went viral, and, we were kind of debating whether to cover it or not, but if it wouldn't get these kind of eyeballs, we wouldn't have talked about it. Why do you think this story did this well, and what's your perspective on what Theo is saying to Joe's feedback?
Well, because, first and foremost, they're actually friends. They're not just podcasters that just go on a podcast and then they're done. Joe actually cares about Theo and his well-being. And I know Joe knows people in Los Angeles that have committed suicide. Brody Stevens, a hilarious, quirky comedian that we all knew, committed suicide. Nobody even really knew that's him right there. Pat, how crazy is it? He was in Hangover 2, remember? He's standing on top of he was doing security on that's Brody, God rest his soul. Oh, and I think Joe genuinely, Pat.
On the high rise, on top of where the helicopter shows up.
Yes, the movie.
You're like, that's Brody, that's Brody.
That's Brody.
Yeah.
And this is, Joe sees the signs, and I get Theo's point, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm okay, I'm fine. That's what sometimes people say, Pat, that are going through it. You know what I mean? That are dealing with it. And I mean, if you've been on it since you were 20 years, Pat, because of one breakup and doctors gave it to you and prescribed it to you, and you've been stuck on it, and now you're just trying to wean off of it, I don't think it's going to be good. I mean, Joe's on a podcast and he's talking about his friend. I think people, blew it up a lot more than what it is. But Joe, Pat, Joe, we don't. He gives a damn about Theo. And by the way, that quick rant that we saw, I don't think that's necessarily him going on the rant and just see, because once you see things, Pat, there's no unseeing. And if he feels like that about the government and he sees something about Gaza, that's him. I don't think it has a direct correlation. But the stand-up one was right. He did allegedly not do well on his stand-up for his taping, which, Pat, that's a huge deal. They're spending all this money. You have one or two takes, like either like an early 2 shows that day or 1 show that day and the next. I'm pretty sure it was 2 in one day. And when you say something like, yeah, I'm just trying not to kill myself, you have to take it serious from someone that is on the SSRI. So that's my assessment.
Adam.
I'm rooting for you, Theo Von. I've seen slowly but surely sort of the disintegration of your comedy career. I think we could all admit one of the funniest, most talented guys that we've seen. But I'm actually with Rogan on this, and I'll tell you why. Do you think Rogan is doing this because he wants to have beef with Theo? Do you think he's doing this because he wants to do something for clicks?
No, he loves him.
Or is he doing this
Genuinely
because
loves
he's genuinely concerned
He
about
genuinely gives a damn.
And I'll give you an
Don't
example of where this might hit home. About a week ago, I told you a story about a friend of mine that was having trouble, and I told you that he also lost his brother. And right after the podcast, and if you see this, hi guys, his father watches the show. His father, who lost his son and now is concerned about his other son, watches the show. I didn't know he watches the show, and my friend ends up sending me the clip that the father sent him, yada, yada, yada. Why? I brought it up because I'm concerned about my friend. And I've tried every way through Sunday to get this through your head. And just like Theo Von, who said, I'm fine, man. I'm good. I'm just going through it. Don't tell me what to do, bro. I'm good. Life's tough. I'm okay. That's what my friend always does. Hey, man, I'm good, bro. Today's a new day. Yeah, but it's like yesterday you said the same thing. You did it. I think Rogan loves his friend so much that he's probably tried to help him off camera so much that it's not working, that he says, I'm sorry, bro. I gotta put this on camera because I'm concerned about you. That's my opinion. Because I don't think Rogan would do this intentionally to try to harm his friend. I think he wants to help his friend. Last point. I've been to a Theo Von show recently. In the same month, I went to 2 comedy specials. I went to Marcelo's, which is Marcelo Hernandez, biggest star on SNL right now. #1 on Netflix. It was incredible. I went to actually 2 of his 7 shows. He did it and did it and did it and did it. And the last show they used for Netflix. And I went to Theo Von's. To say that I was unimpressed would be an understatement. And I'm thinking, Theo Von, this is going to be great. So I think at the end of the day, we're rooting for Theo. He's a lovable guy. I think he should completely stay out of political affairs. He has no clue what he's talking about there. And that upsets him. He's probably an empath. He feels these things. I'm rooting for the guy. Hopefully he gets off drugs. And these SSRIs are no joke.
Yeah. So you know what happens when you lose someone and you knew that the person was dealing with something, you don't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
The regret you get from losing someone that you knew what they were dealing with and you're privately are like, I don't want to expose his private life to the public. I don't want him to do it. I don't know if in this case it's close to that because it's not like he said it. Joe didn't say it. Theo said it. I've been taking these pills for 20 years since a breakup. Then he said it on a show, I just want to not take my life. Mm-hmm. Those 2 things get people to think. Those are not comments that people make regularly on any given day. But when you do lose somebody and you know, you're by yourself, you're in the car, you're driving back, you get the news, you've already gone to the funeral, you've already done all that stuff, and you're like, what could I have done? That's a weight you don't want to carry. You just don't want to carry, right? We just had a friend of ours that died 2 weeks ago. One of my guys calls me. This guy kept saying he's having chest pains. He never goes to the doctor, never gets anything checked out, has a heart attack, he dies. Tom, you know who this guy is. And he was actually one of our partners, and I'll tell you about it afterwards. And I talked to the friend. He's in tears, emotional. We're talking on a Sunday. I said, he says, Pat, we've been telling him, go to the doctor, go to the doctor, go to the doctor. He didn't go, right? Okay. Tom, first time he and I got together at 29 years old, 28 years old, Tom's like, you got to do an executive testing every other year. I said, at this age? Yeah, you should go do it every year. So I started doing it. You know, and if you're above 40, you haven't done a CAT scan on your heart just to kind of see where your arteries are at, and I know, Vinny, you just got yours done, and just to kind of get an idea, you kind of got to go get it done, right?
As scary as it is, you have to do it.
It is.
Yeah, know your plaque score, know your PSA score.
All of that. So Joe is the leader of the pack for a lot of these comedians. He just is. He's the leader of the pack.
Yep.
As the leader of the pack, every once in a while, you have to say certain things that if people don't speak the language of a leader, they're not going to know what he's doing. He is looking out, and sometimes you will say things in public because in private it's not been working. So you say it in public to hope you know you're going to get all the daggers that are going to come for you.
Oh, wow.
But that's a risk you're willing to take as a leader because you're the leader of the pack. So to me, I've seen him do this with Brandon Schaub. I've seen him do this with a few of his other friends. And every time you're like, this guy's coming from a place. I think Joe's a what do you call it? A kingmaker. He's a guy that's built a lot of people's careers. He set them up a lot. He's given them the platform.
Johnny Carson of our era. Literally.
I think he's got the moral authority to give this feedback, but I also understand for Theo to not like it. I think Theo's funny as hell. I've not been to the comedy part. To me, it's different. To me, Marcelo's a stand-up comedian, but it's different for podcast. I don't know if Marcelo's skill would translate into a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know Theo's proven that he's a great podcaster, and he'll sit with anybody, and he's able to get the eyeballs to help people out. All right, so that's that part. I hope he figures it out. Last thing I do want to say with World Cup being around the corner, Neymar, man. Neymar's playing Santos yesterday. They lose 3-0. I thought he played okay. I thought he made some passes. I couldn't even believe the types of passes he's making. And there was massive controversy, Rob, if you want to find a video of that, where he's sitting on the sidelines because he's getting stretched. He's getting a little bit of treatment from, the team doctors. And then all of a sudden, they're making a substitution, and the referees substitutes Neymar. Neymar's asked to leave the game. It's like, wait a minute. They're not calling for my number. They're calling for the other guy's number. He says, no, they're substituting you. He runs up and goes and pulls the ticket to show. This is it, Rob.
Wow.
He pulls the ticket to show TV because he knew people weren't going to believe him. Show the ticket, Rob. He says, look, it's not my number. It's the other guy. So the ref, and then guess what they do to him? They give him a yellow card.
Why'd they take him out?
The referee substituted 10. It was supposed to be a different guy. Neymar's supposed to go back in the game. And so this was a massive, massive controversy. As this goes, he ends up getting a yellow card. He's showing, I'm not supposed to be the one going out, okay? I've never seen anything like this before. Do you know why this is important? When does World Cup start, Rob? 4 weeks? 3 weeks? 5 weeks? Guess who? When does it start? First game? That's 1930. It doesn't start in 1930. When does it start in 2026?
World Cup started in 1930.
Okay, June 11th.
Yep.
So the first game starts in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Guess who Brazilian young fans want to see play? Neymar. And he's had some injuries in the last few years, and he's been making a comeback. Neymar is worried this could be the reason why the coach and the country doesn't pick him to go into Brazil. He needs as much playing time to show that he's back and he's healthy because the coach doesn't want to risk giving that spot to somebody that is not in 100% condition. This was his chance to show up that I'm ready to go back into. So if he doesn't, a lot of fans, that referee right there may need to go meet with AIG, Nationwide, some of the biggest life insurance companies, because a lot of people will not be happy about it. I hope he gets in there because you want to see the best players play. Without it, it's just not an exciting playoff when the best players are injured. So we are rooting for Neymar, Brazilian guy, to get up there, and hopefully he's able to perform for the country. I do know this room will be busy while the World Cup starts because all the games are going to be here. And when we're missing employees, we can't find them. I have a feeling a lot of people will be hiding here. Yeah. And that Jake, just so you know, I'm watching you, Jake. I know what you're going to do here. I think I'm probably going to be here. Yep. But anyways, gang, with that being said, hot cakes and hot takes. We had a few mobsters here last week.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them was Michael Francis.
The man.
And Michael Francis was here and did a podcast on hot cakes with hot takes with Vinny. And Vinny showed me a clip at the end from Goodfellas. Not Goodfellas.
Yes.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
Yes.
And the line.
Funny how.
Funny how.
Yeah.
And Michael asks Vinny to set aside the script because
he goes because I had it because normally at the end of the podcast I do a scene with every guest. He's like, he's like, just go, I'll do it. He memorized the whole scene.
I couldn't believe the video.
It's amazing.
Video is about to go live any minute now. Go to Vitamin Comedy, and while you're there, smash that subscribe button as well. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye bye.